What are you wearing?
A Canadian tuxedo. And I'm a hockey player. Let's go Blues.
Who are you, Blues fan? We're bleeding blue with you. Let's go Blues! Let's go Blues! Let's go Blues!
BlueNote Fan Report. Aloha and mahalo. I am Guy the Wild Blues Fan, and this is a show that is by a fan, for the fan, and about you, the fan, even though this team doesn't deserve us as fans after what they did. Yes, I said that. I absolutely believe that. I listened to Army's comments very closely, and I listened to some things that Buchhhh said. Now, I had to take a step back on the Buchhhh things a little bit, understanding that there was some lost in translation things. However, there's things that he said that he didn't hold back. And I think it was absolutely, oh, Ryan Green, go screw yourself. Go screw yourself, buddy. Danny Johnson, king of the pounded in. Oh my goodness, Ryan. You sent me that stuff on Buchhhh, and the more I listen, oh my goodness, did he absolutely solidified my belief in what went wrong this season. And I have gone out there and I have told you that I put it 50, 30, 20. Well, I've switched. I want to tell you, I'm probably now 40, 20, right? Into where I put things wrong. Tammy. Oh, wow. Oh, I didn't realize this. Kaepernick is better than. Oh, come on, stop that crap. Come on, you know, jokes. Some jokes like that don't. They lose. I don't know. Yeah, I know who you are, Mike. So that's fine. What did Butchie say? I didn't see that. Okay, so after the, you know what? I may play this. Now you got to understand. Some of it's hard to hear, but for the most part. Ryan, what's the 40-40-20? Okay, well, we're getting there, right? We'll get there. But Buchhhh basically came out and said, you know, the guys in the locker room, they're down. You know, when we win, we don't go in the locker room, we don't get blamed. Very, 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 very important thing. And then he also said he was asked about being a center. And he straight up said, well, the coaches don't trust some of the younger guys. All right, you know what? I'm going to get a copyright strike, but I think this is one that you guys need to hear. Let me see if I can find this. They're talking about Varnum now. See, that's the Varnum one really rubbed me wrong. We just sold a bunch of reclamation projects. From what we had to what we have now is a joke. Absolute joke. Okay, Ryan, where you sent me this, and I got to find it now. Okay, now they're asking him about the plan. They're asking Armstrong about the plan. I want to listen to this. Okay, this is what they played the other day. This is what they're playing now is on the internet. Okay, so I'm getting that. I got it. I'm just trying to pull it up. It takes a few steps, and I also found out that my soundboard is going out. I have a warranty on it, but I have to send it out. I got to figure that out, and then I may have to get me something that will temporarily work until I can get my soundboard back. Where are we at? Okay, so I got it pulled up now. Now hold on. Before I play this, I want to listen to what Bernie says. Hey, Martin, I haven't seen you in a while. Welcome. Okay, here it is. All right, this is the Buchhhh interview after he had 4 assists.
6-3 win for the St. Louis Blues, along with Darren Pang, John Kelly upstairs. Pavel Buchhhh joined us downstairs. And a 2-part question. Buchhhh, did you know that you set a career high with 4 assists tonight, number 1?
I didn't know that one, but it's pretty nice. Finally we get the streak ended, and hopefully it's keep going winning games, and some good mood coming to our locker room, and we enjoy that.
Now, Buchhhh, we've watched you play for a couple of years. Do you enjoy getting an assist as much or more than scoring a goal?
I think like everybody know that in our organization, we always coaches coming to me like, why you didn't shoot? I just like to give some dishes to my partners, and I'm not a great shooter, like for example like Tarasenko, so I just give it to like guys who can score better than me.
You're a pretty good shooter. I mean, the other night, Thomas made a nice little pass to you, and you rifle it under the bar and in. Don't sell yourself short, pal.
It's just by accident.
Hey, you talked about the mood. We talked about this in the open that, I know the season hasn't gone the way you all have wanted it to, Buchhhh, but you got to win hockey games to get that feeling back of getting together and going into a locker room and smiling and having some fun. Is that what you were just talking about?
I just think it's we have to find something positive emotion. I know like it's like tough season for us right now, and positive emotion after wins. You can smile and in the locker room, joke around. Before, and nobody gonna blame you. So I think it's nice to have that mood. And
did you hear that? That was important. Oh, we can joke around in the locker room now because nobody blame you. Nobody blame you. Bingo! Bingo. Very important. Let's continue this now.
I think like after wins, it's always like that. Good for us.
Yeah, for sure it is. It's still a game of passion and like you're right, having fun and goofing around and what have you. I got another one for you because with those injuries that took place when Robert Thomas took the puck in the mouth and then Josh Levo took the skate in the face, you had a couple of shifts at center ice. Remember earlier in the year when you had a couple of rides at it? Was that fun for you to get to the middle of the ice again, even if it was for a couple of shifts?
They asked me like, do I want to play with middle? I say I don't mind. I play. Rangers draft me as a center, so I don't know. I play a long time in center. Now just when it's pro hockey coming, coaches doesn't really trust young guys, so.
There you go. He said it right there. Coaches doesn't really trust young guys. If you have coaches that don't trust young guys, why are you doing a retool, rebuild right now? I mean, that right there, that was enough for me. I don't even want to listen to the rest of it. And then for Doug Armstrong, I put something out on Twitter, Armstrong saying that, it's not gonna happen right away, And I put something out on Twitter. Let me see if I can read exactly what I wrote, because I'm getting beat up for it a little bit. But I don't care that I'm getting beat up for it, to be honest with you. He said, I really do believe, this was the Blues put this out. I really do believe that we're going to play competitive hockey. We're going to be in games. We're going to surprise some people. I said the movie should have made at Thanksgiving was Fire Berube. He didn't and had a mutiny on his hands. Sometimes the most prideful thing to do is to swallow your pride. And all the Berube backers, firing Berube wouldn't have saved this team from injuries. Injuries didn't hurt this team as bad as everybody thinks they did. Right? It wasn't as if they were going in. And the best part of your alternative history would have been that we would have been, at best, snuck into the playoffs as the first round exit. You don't know that. You don't know that. This was the same team that scored 109 points. And then watch 49, 90, 91 leave in the offseason for nothing, then suck for 5 years. We're going to suck for 5 years anyways. My reply was, we're going to suck for 5 years anyways. Plus, you still have a coach that cannot and will not develop young talent. I think you could have kept two of them. If you really listen to what 91 said, he would have stayed here and 49 would have taken a discount. And then someone says, well, Thomas and Kyrie haven't grown under Berube. No, they haven't. This season, they both regressed. They've absolutely both regressed. Okay, so now let me get to your comments. Probably don't trust young centers. They don't back check consistently. Well, then you keep putting them out there. You keep putting them out there and you teach them. I don't know what screensaver you're talking about, unless you did see my screensaver. I don't. I could maybe show my screensaver. Give me a second. I got other junk up, so I'm not sure what you're talking about there. I think. I mean, I don't know if it showed my screensaver. Sorry, I'm getting there, man. One of these days, I'm gonna be able to actually have a producer where I don't have to do this stuff. The producer can do it for me, and I can do what I do best, which is bullshit with you guys, not have to worry about this. Hold on a sec, I'm getting there. One more thing, so you can kind of see my screensaver completely. Maybe, kind of, sort of. I'm getting there. So is this what you're talking about? Is this what you got? You got a second to see there? Is that what you were talking about, Matt Lowe? Is that what you got the second, a chance to see there for a second? Right? Now I'm going to show you something really weird. This is actually what I see. All right, if you kind of look in here, that's what I'm seeing. Move that. Okay, so maybe that's what you were talking about. Hopefully Blues can finish decent and get some guys in the draft free agent. Well, actually, you don't want them to finish decent. You want to finish undecent so you can get that. But Armstrong said we're not going after anybody in the free agent. We only got $4 million to spend. If anything, he pulls guys from up, $1 million guys up. He pulls up $2 or $3 million guys. He had 30 accidents last year. Marianne says she heard and agreed. I just got here. What are you saying, brah? Means Butch when he says that. I just got here. What are you saying Butch means when he says that? I think Butch absolutely means that when they lose, the coaches come in and blame the players for everything. It's all the players' fault. Right? And I also think he straight up says it. They don't trust young players. Right? So it puts, think about this. You have a coach. Think about this. You have a coach that doesn't trust young players. So he puts all that weight on your experienced veterans. At some point, that's got to weigh heavy. That's got to absolutely weigh heavy. Then he said, we will be competitive next year. People will be surprised. I'd read that because I brought that on to my thing there. Well, now they have to trust young guys. They just don't have anyone else to play center. And they're not. They're still not. That's the problem. I need to get a Twitter so I can argue with you. Matlow, I think you're doing it just to do it now. I still think this is going to be a long rebuild. I do too. He keeps referencing Kings 3 years. Retool also said he doesn't like free agent pool. Okay, yeah, we covered some of that. Okay, so St. Louis City scored. Wish I could watch the game. This one is late. It's on Bally. Actually, for me, I have to watch it delayed, like 2-minute delay, because that or I watch the Kings feed, and I don't want to do that. So I'm going to be behind. So know that. So don't report goals until I say them. TikTok pictures, but the Cuppers picture's pretty cool. Oh, okay. I've got to get back to my TikTok. I can't stop doing my TikToks. I got to get back to that. Okay, Danny. We might get a Lance sighting at intermission. Ryan, you're not even close. You're not even close. Ryan, that's the thing, Ryan. Here's the thing with Ryan. Ryan sits there and argues where he tries to. But 90% of the time, the effer agrees with me. He's arguing me just to argue with me. You know what, Tommy? I've talked about this before. Don't get political on me. If you're getting political, that I do my TikToks. I did pretty good. Got some views, not a lot of views, but I got views. I need to get back to it. I trust Ryan with my life, no question asked. He's talking about City St. Louis. You missed Jessica Ball giving her wife a tattoo. Oh, wow, I would have liked to have seen that. I got to get back on TikTok. TikTok is where I get my fill of Bulldogs, TikTok and Instagram. I watch a lot of, there's a couple particular Bulldogs I watch. One of them, and he's my favorite, is Pablo. He's an English Bulldog, and he's the one that they do food races. I'm here, but no joking from Bob tonight. Oh, hey, Bob Morton. Hey, bud, how you doing, man? You know what? You're allowed to joke, my friend. I got to learn how to take that stuff a little bit better. I really do. Right? That's on me. I gotta figure some things out when that, if I'm going to do this, I gotta understand that 50% of the people are going to like it and 50% of the people aren't. It's just society. Well, I got to figure that out. I got to figure out a way to get, and you know what? If they don't like me, as long as they watch. Right? I know the 4 people that put their thumbs up don't like me: Marianne Listener, Tammy Pemberton, Justin Muller, and Craig Maas. I mean, they can't stand me. I know that for a fact. I'm going to get amped here in a second. And Colton continue to play like he did the other day. No, he won't. That'd be nice, but I don't see it. I love hockey, the way they share the trophy around. I absolutely love it. I think that's the greatest tradition. I think that's such a great, great tradition. And if you haven't been to Centene Ice Center in Maryland Heights, oh my goodness, that place is beautiful. I've been there so much. When I do, if I ever get home, I'm gonna love it there, man. I'm gonna probably live there. See, I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming. We are getting closer and closer to game time. This is a late night. Oh, by the way, if you were watching on Thursday night and I kept talking about trying to get out there and make my bonus, I made it. I made my bonus. Got it. I with plenty of time to spare. I could have gone for the next bonus, and if I would have worked till 3 a.m., 3:30ish, I probably would have gotten it. But I was at the point where I was happy with what I got. Now my bonus for next week is doubled. So I'm really going to go after that one. I haven't worked I didn't work Friday. Worked some this morning. Got 9 rides this morning. Made some money. Got one good $10 tip. Was happy with that. And for a short ride. So, it was a tough ride, but a short ride. And we got there because he was told the day before he wasn't going to be dealt at the deadline. And that's possible, man. That's absolutely possible. I mean, that could have weighed on him. That could have weighed on a lot of people. Oh, Tommy's on the East Coast. Well, Tommy, it's 5:22 here. So, yeah, I'm doing pretty good with the Uber. I'm doing pretty good with the Uber, actually. I'm glad I'm doing something. That's all I got to say. I like it better than I do DoorDash. And I wish I would. I don't like it as much as I liked Instacart. I wish I was still doing Instacart, but right now I can't spend 2 hours doing $25 orders because that's what it takes. And it's the same. If I get a $75 order, it takes the same 2 hours. Or a $100 order, it takes the same 2 hours, right? So. In order to make that money, to make it count, I'm just not seeing that. It is PM here. I am 4 hours behind St. Louis, 2 hours behind LA. My wrist is hurting me. Only Tuesday. It comes off Tuesday. I am no longer a one-armed bandit come Tuesday. Thank goodness. Oh man, I'm to the point where I am so tired of this thing. Like I want to rip it off myself. I just want to grab I have shears, sheet metal shears in one of my toolboxes somewhere. I want to go find that toolbox and dig it out, take the sheet metal shears and rip this thing apart. I absolutely do. I'm almost at that part. Where we at, guys? John Hefner's here. Come on, if you're watching, don't forget to put those thumbs in here. Oh, and I got to throw a special shout out. There's a gentleman that I think is probably watching. I know he watches on YouTube. I don't know if I really have permission to say his name, but I'll just say his initial of C. He is somebody that I know from one of my groups. And when I first got into that group, one of the first things C said to me was, if you do a podcast, let me know because I need to listen to it. I don't care what it's about. I kind of said, funny, I do a podcast. And I was able to give Chris, or C, that up. I gave this person my podcast, and he watches, and he doesn't comment, but he watches. And he brought up, Friday, he brought up he sent me a message and said, I really liked when you talked about the sinking ship, about the 01. I thought that was really interesting. And I was like, wow. I mean, that was specific. So I know that he watched a good portion of the show to know that. And this guy doesn't know anything about hockey, but he's watching this show. So I appreciate you, C. Thank you so much. And anybody else that does that, I wish you would comment because it helps me. But if you don't, if you just want to sit back and do that, that's fine too, man. That's absolutely fine too. But we really appreciate each and every one of you. I got 7 on Guy Bensing, 7 on YouTube, and 1 on the Blue Note Fan Report. I got to keep trying things. This was such a, oh man. Okay, guys. Remember me talking about, how these GMs, I think that they're using archaic thinking when it comes to the trade deadline and all of this and how you work your team. You know, oh, you got to make all the, oh, we're at this point, we're not going to be good, so we got to make all these changes to get good. Think about what I do on this show. I don't make 4 or 5 changes. I make one change, and then I see what happens. Does that change work? Does it get better? Does it get worse? One of the changes I made, and I thought that this would be helpful, was I was only putting this out on the BlueNote fan report and then sharing that to Guy Bensing and to everything else. Well, even doing that, oh man, I'm sorry, Ryan. Well, I guess you're stuck with me again. The Matty guy watches. He commented and said he watched. Oh yeah, I do remember someone saying that. I do remember someone saying that. I know it wasn't you, Matt Lowe, but it was somebody else. I thought it might have been you. I know there's a few guys that watch and don't comment. I know I have someone. I know I have a hater that watches almost every show and doesn't comment. That person also knows that they did comment. I would block them in a heartbeat. But hey. You know what, Ryan? If I could get away with that, I absolutely would, but I prefer not to have my channel shut down. Yeah, not him. Yeah, I know, yeah. Something just happened with him. He has said he's not doing podcasts anymore. So I'm going to let him cool for a little bit before I reach back out to him. But, you know, if Matty C pops on, you know, I'll always bring him on. I'll bring Shaggy on at any time. People that I know, that I trust, I will bring on. No, he is not. He is not playing tonight because of travel in with Detroit. He couldn't get out of Detroit or something, so he's not liking. Do I like the Varna trade? Yes and no. I like that we didn't give up a lot for him, but I still think we gave up too much. In all actuality, we gave up a 7th-round pick and an aging prospect. I think the 7th-round pick would have been enough. I don't like giving up the aging prospect unless that's like a money thing, okay, you know. Because you know what? They still pay the guys in the minor league system. What I understand, they're still paying them. Game hasn't started yet. I have no clue what you're saying. I'm hoping that we do see that from him. I do hope that that works, but I'm not 100% sure with it, okay? Army said it's another contract ending soon for a player who needs a second chance. You know what? And I get that. I really do get that, but at the same time, what about the players that you had that you got rid of that you could have kept for cheap money? I really do think that that went bad. Yeah, but see, we don't know what his issue is, and we shouldn't. That's not for us to know. It's just an issue that has to be dealt with. And you know, there's some of these guys when, you know, some of it works great, and there's others it doesn't. You know, hopefully, but see, I need to go to a place where he's going to be counted on. Think about that. You know, a guy like this, he needs a second chance. Maybe he would do better on a team where he'd be. You know where? Does anybody know where O'Reilly started tonight? What position O'Reilly started tonight as? I want you to think about this. This really like shocked me. What position? Yeah, that was with injuries though too, right? Logan Brown is going to have a breakout year next year. I'm telling you, he would have had it this year had he not been injured. If he works on that, you know, that part of it. Nah, it won't be a Varna jersey. Oh, that's cool. That's not just their home opener. That's their inaugural game, their first game ever. Right? That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Logan Brown would have had a breakout year. Logan Brown, I think, would have scored 25 to 30 goals this year had he not had the injuries that he had. That's how dedicated I think he put himself in the offseason. And if he does the same thing next offseason, if he goes and does the same thing next offseason, I can see it just being fantastic. Yeah, that is, well, that's what Tarasenko did. Everybody, Tarasenko's lazy. Tarasenko doesn't do this. Tarasenko doesn't do this. He broke his hand blocking a shot. That's a goal scorer blocking a shot. Goal scorer shouldn't block shots. Well, I mean, we saw it. You saw it in the preseason. And I go, you guys can go, yeah, that's preseason. He didn't play the preseason games against the scrubs. He played the preseason games against the good teams, the good players. And he was still doing it. Right? I mean, that's what was important to me. He was playing against the good guys and still doing it. Yeah, but this is their inaugural game in St. Louis. I know their inaugural game was at Austin, but this is their inaugural St. Louis game. Their very first ever game in that stadium. Right? The Browns' goal in that last game, was really good. They scored good goals. He would have gotten to 20 goals. We had guys in the bottom six get to 20 goals last year. Uh-oh. Look who's here. Hey, Shaggy. Hey, Shaggy. He would have gotten 20 to 20. He would have gotten 25 to 30 goals this year. Mark my words. Mark my words. I absolutely, beyond a shadow of a doubt, believe that. He would have played that. And you guys got to understand something. Oh, no. 0-2 since Kane came. Told you. Too many moves. Army was saying, too, that he hopes to rebuild quickly like the Kings did. I don't see it happening. First home game now. You know what? I think he will. I think if he has the same offseason that he had this year and he goes into the preseason and does exactly what he did last preseason, he's going to be that guy. Right? Tommy, I don't. I think the guy figured it out. I really do. He's going to get, the minutes are going to come. I think Brown can do it. I do. I think Brown had the talent. Got to remember, Brown was a first-round draft pick. He was part of the St. Louis Five. He was part of the St. Louis Five. Right? And I think that he has that talent. Not getting a Blues win tonight. I'm sorry, you're not getting that. Not happening. Just not happening. Happening, I don't mind picking up. Varna, I'm still a little on the fence with. And guys, take a step back. You're looking at Brown, and you're seeing Brown now. Right? And you're seeing a Brown that lost the season, basically. And this is important. You have to look at what Brown was last season and what Brown was prior to the injury in preseason. Brown is there. You know what? I think Brown will break out despite Berube. Yes, I'm going to say that. And if you want to sit there and bang on me and say, I think Brown will break out despite Berube. Right? I don't think either one of them's getting contracts here. I really don't, to be honest. Good point there. Tammy, I kind of hope they do too, but you know, the Kings are a good team. They're a playoff team. They're fighting for a playoff spot. They made one ridiculous move, but they've got guys that can put the puck in the net. Right? And we don't have the defense to stop them. That's plain and simple. So for those of you watching the game, I will let you know when puck drop stops happens for me. So you'll know how far behind I am if you're watching the game in St. Louis. Yeah, I don't think he is either. Do it in Ottawa, and Ottawa dumped him and couldn't keep up with. Yeah, but you know what? They didn't. I didn't think you were banging on me. I didn't think you were banging on me. I didn't say that, and if I did, I apologize. That's not what I meant. Right? You know, you're saying, okay, God, you're saying I'm saying two separate things. I'm speaking out of both sides of my mouth. I mean, that's what I meant. And yes, okay, I get it. I get that sometimes that sounds like what I'm doing, speaking out of both sides of my mouth. Get it? Brown is one of those guys that I see that despite Berube, he could break out. That's what I meant by that. So I'm sorry if it came out the wrong way. You know what? There's plenty of fans that absolutely believe that Berube is number one, the best coach in the world because he brought the cup here when no one else could, and that's all that matters. City SC wins their very first game in St. Louis, 3-1. Way to go, City! Hey, delicious! How you doing?
Yo, how we doing? Not going to be easy game tonight.
No, it's not. If they turn it around, I bet they both resign. I thought resign is what he meant. Here next season, or they're so good that we have to let them go in free agency or trade them for assets. You know, that's probably more than likely, that's the trading them for assets next season is what's probably going to happen. I see that happen in anything else. To address absolutely nothing. He's not going to address it. Unless he drafts a defenseman in the first round. You know,
I could see them doing that.
If there's a high level defenseman in that 6 to 10 pick range, that's what I could see him getting. But then again, that's a pick. That's 2 to 3 years away. Right? You're not getting a guy at number. Very few guys are you going to get between picks 5 to 10 that are going to play in the league like this. Very, very rare. Right? I mean, you get some. There are some that are out there. The Matt Tkachuk draft, that was just a really stacked draft. Right? And I think he went at 6. 5 or 6, right?
Yeah.
I want to say Matt Tkachuk went. Let me see. I got to see if I can pull up.
What about a guy
I got like 90
what
million
about a
things
guy
going.
like? What about a guy like Cal Foot?
Who?
Or Cal Foot, Evan Bouchard.
It's going to have to be.
Those are free agents that are very young.
Young free agents.
Yeah, you got Andrew Peak.
He's not going in free agency. He's already said it.
Ethan Beer.
He's already said that he's not. He doesn't think that this is the free agent market, so he's not going there.
Interesting. What about a guy like Vince Dunn?
I don't think we bring Dunn back. Armstrong said, I don't see us doing anything in free agency.
Interesting.
Right? I mean, he's basically said that.
I mean, I know you guys don't want to add veterans to there, but I mean, you look at the veteran market of guys who are still playing pretty good. Adding like a guy
$4 million to fill 3 spots.
Yeah, and right now you could pay a guy like Travis Hamonic garbage.
I just don't see it.
Or a Michael Stone garbage.
In the 2016 draft, he was 16th overall. But if I go back and look at the last 3 drafts, how many guys from 6 to 10 are playing in the league right now? I mean, right away, played in the league right away. All right, now this draft was stacked. You had Matthews, Arny, Pierre-Luc Dubois, Jesse Pulvardi, Oli Jolivich, the defenseman. He never really did anything. Matt Tkachuk at 6, Clayton Keller at 7. Both those guys went almost straight into the league. Alexander Nylander, he didn't go straight into the league. Mikhail Chev, he went into the league, but he was he's the one that plays for Carolina right now, right?
Right.
He's the Michigan guy, the cross goal guy.
Mm-hmm.
He had Tyson Yost at 10 and Logan Brown at 11. Right? And again, really only Keller and Tkachuk out of those 6 went almost directly into the league. I know Tkachuk did. I think Keller waited a year. Right? Because right now, of all of those players from that draft, Tkachuk has the most games. Right? He has like 30 more games than Matthews does. Oh, Bennington just made 2 really, really good saves. I forgot to tell you, puck drop. Game's on, guys. I missed a lot of stuff. Yeah, I just seen it, so I don't know how far ahead of you are of me. Yeah, we give them out way too much. 15 fans. I think you meant games. Yeah, hopefully it will be. No, this is going to be a tough. You know, I put out. Armstrong said that basically Thanksgiving time is when they I'm sorry, I'm trying to do 2 different things at once. Said at Thanksgiving is when they decided it was time to sell. Right?
That's pretty
and
old.
With that being said, I put out a thing on Twitter where I said the move that he should have made at Thanksgiving was firing Berube. Right? Sometimes the most prideful thing to do is to swallow your pride. Berube is an issue. And anyone who sits there and believes that he's not, okay, you can. I still see it. Oh, we're not winning the lotto. Is going to trade their top pick and their worst first rounder to move up a few spots, probably to a team like this. I don't see anybody above us. Everyone is so sold on this being a stacked draft. I don't see anybody giving up those spots during draft day trades. I don't see it. Right? You're going to have to convince them before the draft to make that move, and I don't see it.
Is that goalie interference?
I didn't see it.
Yeah, maybe go look.
Oh, I brought up something. Did you hear me say this before? Let's say that you challenge a goal for goaltender interference, right? And they come back and they say that it's goaltender interference.
That should be a penalty?
Shouldn't it? Shouldn't it be a penalty? I
Right.
mean, you get a penalty if it's not. If they determine it was a good goal. Well, if they determine that it's interference, well, interference is a penalty. Shouldn't that player get the penalty?
So I believe that if you
I just seen. Wow, that's how far behind I am.
Yeah.
I just seen the goal.
Yeah.
Is that what you guys are talking about?
Yeah, it's already at.
There possibly being interference on that?
Yeah, you're very behind.
Yeah, I'm like 2 minutes behind, right?
Yeah, you're 2 minutes behind at least.
Yeah.
Because that goal was 2 minutes ago, and I was like, wait, guy's not going nuts. Because that was an absolute goalie interference. The guy dove right into
I
his
had to
glove.
watch because they're in LA. I had to watch it here. I have to watch it on. I have to watch the Blues feed on Center Ice. Center Ice has a 2 minute. No, that's not goaltender interference.
Why not? Look at the dive. He took away his glove. He dove at him.
Maybe.
That's intentional diving.
That's a tough one.
He dove at his hands.
I don't think they're going to challenge it.
No, they can't.
Yeah, they didn't. No, they could have challenged it.
No, they can't challenge. That's too. It's
Too
too.
iffy.
You're right. It's too iffy, and it's too early in the game.
Yeah.
You're not gonna use that up.
Yeah, we've been like that. Jason, I've seen that. Yeah, that was too iffy for me to call. He was far enough out of the crease. Now, see, that's the problem. They say that player's out of the crease, but the goalie is still in the crease. If the goalie is in the crease, if any part of the goalie is in the blue, the goalie's in the crease, right? If any part of the goalie is in the crease, then the goalie's in the crease. If you hit a guy while he's got any part of his body in the crease, that should be considered interference, as long as you're not pushed into him. Doesn't matter where you're at. It matters where he's at, right? And you have to treat this the exact same way you treat the puck, right? If the puck is touching the line, then it's on the line. It has to be completely over the line to not be. So the goalie has to be completely out of the crease for him to be out of the crease. Not now that part of his body wasn't in the crease when he touched it. No. That's not the way it works. I really don't know right now. I got to be honest with you. I haven't even looked at. I couldn't tell you where most teams are in the standings. I've been so out of it with some personal, things in that, and with the way the Blues have treated, and I haven't even been paying attention to the standings. Standings. I got to get back into it. I'll have to look at the play a little bit better to know.
Should I?
But like I said, you know what? It's like that play you and me broke down the other day.
Right.
When you originally said it, you said it was this, and I said no, and we went and we talked about it. We looked at it from different angles, and I said, from your angle, I get what you're seeing, but here's another angle. And when you look at it at this angle, it changes how you see the play. Mm-hmm. Oh, Dr. Detroit, I absolutely agree with that. Absolutely agree with that.
I mean, right now, your matchups are for right now is Dallas versus Winnipeg.
Ooh, that's going to be a good one. I could see Winnipeg upsetting Dallas there.
Correct.
Wait a minute, is Winnipeg in a wild card spot?
Yes, the second wild card.
Wow, I thought they would be higher.
The number one wild card is the Oilers.
Oilers, and who are they? They're going to play what?
And the Oilers would play the Vegas Knights.
So Dallas Stars have more points than the Knights?
Yeah.
Wow.
Wild.
I could see both wild card teams upsetting number one seeds.
Right. Then you have the Wild versus Avalanche and Kings versus Seattle.
I don't think so. I think the draft is so staffed that it's just like the 16 draft. I don't think a lot of teams. I don't think in the 16 draft that you had a trade during the first round. I think that first round went all the way down to like the 20s before you got a trade.
Right.
I think for the most of that 16 draft, Avs don't get past the Wild. I could see that. I could see a lot of lower ranked teams winning in the first round in the West. I think the thing with the West, the teams are a lot closer than the East. I think that the difference between first and eighth in the East is a lot further than it is between the first and the eighth in the West. Right? I think the top five teams are so much better than the bottom three in that draft.
AC
are in that playoff round.
So AC's basically said that no one thought Shane Wright would drop to the fourth.
Say again?
He says that no one, AC in the comments said that no one thought Shane Wright would drop. Okay, Shane Wright, before the draft started, it was summertime. I was with my father-in-law in the bungalows, whatever, and I already told him my call was Slivkovsky going first and Shane Wright dropping. The reason why I predicted Shane Wright to drop is for two things. Two things were said before the season. One was that he wasn't great in meetings. He wasn't fantastic. When teams meet with you, they want to see what type of player you are. They did not like his attitude. Number two is his game is not pure. He needs time to fix it up. And because of that, I said teams want a pure thing.
Yeah, well, here's the thing with Shane Wright. Shane Wright, now this is the thing about last year's draft. This is why I don't trust this year's draft. Last year, I mean, prior to that draft, up and down, all season long. Wow, this is such a deep draft. Wow, this is such a deep draft. This is a deep draft. Wow, man, I just can't tell you how deep this draft is. I heard that up until the night before the draft. All of a sudden, the night before the draft, this really isn't a deep draft. I mean, that's all you heard up until that draft, and then all of a sudden, oh, this really isn't a deep draft. This isn't that deep of a draft. I mean, it changed overnight. And then Shane Wright had awful interviews. Right? That came out later that Shane Wright just interviewed.
No, that was even before. There was like when they were interviewing him and stuff, he did not look great. You know, a guy like Bedard, who's supposed to be the best one in the draft right now, he looks much better off the ice, better than Shane Wright ever did. I love his comments, Bedard. Before, I don't know if you guys saw, like they asked him like what he feels about, you know, the Bedard race, and he was like just throwing it out the window. He really did not care about it. He's like, dude, I just, you know, I want to win and things like that. That's
what Matthews said. That's what Matthews said when Matthews was over in Europe, you know, playing there, trying to get him the experience he needed, you know. And that's the thing with Matthews that I think everybody forgets, right? Matthews, instead of going and playing in juniors, knowing that he was so much better than and you look at his draft, and his draft was stacked. He went and played with men. He went and played in Europe with men. And I think that helped him out more than anything else in the world, right? I think Bedard hurt himself by going and playing in juniors. He may have done, you know. I think that he probably should have taken the Matthews route. Well, okay, they changed hands now, but I don't see them draft day changing hands. That's the thing. Draft day, they're not. Right?
The only thing the Blues have that a lot of teams do not have right now is the amount of first round picks they have next year is going to really help them, and the amount of picks they have next year will help them, because if they see it's not a deep draft, and they see somebody that they say, you know what, maybe not a defenseman, but they say this guy could be a starter right now on our second or third line. I mean, wouldn't you take that? Wouldn't you move up? Yes. It's a big
I just don't see teams right now. If teams are buying into, and it actually, obviously it is, the teams at the lower end of the draft, right? The lottery teams are buying into that this is a deep draft. You're seeing it because they're picking up, so they're trying to pick up picks, right? And that's the one thing. See, that's the other thing that shocks me. If this is such a deep draft, why did so many teams give up their first round picks? 11 teams. This is a deep draft. 11 of the 32 teams gave up their first round pick. How if that was a deep draft, why would you do that? If you can get NHL ready talent now in the first round, why would you give it up? That's what concerns me. I think that concerns me more than anything else, is how many teams have done that. I just don't think anybody's going to drop. I think and I don't think anybody's going to let you move up. And not only that, the Blues are probably going to have somewhere between 6 and 10. I see the best them having is 7 and dropping as far as 10 to 12. I see between 7 and 12 is where we're going to be. Right? Between 7 and 12. I don't see I don't like the lottery at all. Right? By the way, shots are 7-5 in favor of the Kings. Kings are up 1-0. I'm barely watching the game. I'm talking to you and these guys. You know, okay, you say they're making playoff pushes, but is it worth it? That's a good point. I'd say, well, I've said this before, right? And I'm still going to say this. When we think that teams at the bottom of the league are junk, we are looking at this through an electron microscope. In all actuality, the difference between the best team in the league and the last team in the league is minuscule. Minuscule. Looks like LA's going on. LA's going to the box. Yep, tripping. But here's the thing: you would do it, but would the other teams do it? And I don't think that they will. It's not what you would do. That it's great. You can sit there and say all day long, "I would do this. I would do that." Great. I'm saying that the other teams are not going to be involved. The other teams have bought into how this draft is, and they're not going to move. Look at the 16 draft. I think that's probably one of the deepest drafts we've had in a long time. And you can go all the way down in that draft, right? You can go all the way down in that draft, and the majority of these guys are playing only let's say 100 games, right? And some of them haven't, and I got to be careful. Ole Olivev from the Vancouver Canucks has only played 41 games. He was drafted 5th. Buffalo Sabres, Alexander Nylander has only played 84 games, right? Logan Brown only played 88. Kiefer Bellows has only played 86. German Rustov has only played 4. I don't even know who he's with now. The Dallas Stars got Riley Toof, and he's only played 13. You got another defenseman for the Capitals, Lucas Johansson. He's only played 3. Everybody else has played 100 games or more, right? And some of them, like Brown, he's playing NHL minutes right now. Nylander's playing NHL minutes right now. Say again? And if you look at Matt Tkachuk's played the most games of anybody in that draft, 491. He's almost played 500 games already. Wow. He'll hit his 500 game played this year.
Wow. He doesn't
this
miss
season.
many. He doesn't miss many.
Actually, he's probably already hit it. I don't know when these stats were updated. I think these stats are behind.
Mm.
This is on probably up to date. This is probably up to date. Matthews 462, Arny 454, Brinkett 429. You go all the way down. The top 9 players in this draft have played 420 more than 400 games, and only one of them was drafted outside of the first round.
Wow.
And that's to Brinkett. Right? You go with guys 300 games or more, only 2 of them were drafted out of the first round. Make it three of them. Philip Hornick, for the Red Wings. Is he still with the Red Wings? I think he is.
Yeah, he's not. He's with the Canucks.
Canucks, okay.
He got moved.
And then you have Jasper Bart.
Yeah, Jesper Bratt.
Bratt. Is he with the Devils still or no?
Yes, he's still with the Devils.
Okay. He's played 368. He was 162 overall. And then Samuel Giard with the Net Predators was 47th. I mean, the majority of these guys that have played, you know, major minutes were drafted in the first round. Right? And that's important. And that's probably the deepest draft. And if I go back to this draft, I don't think many of these guys, I don't think that there were any draft day trades in the first round. Right? I really don't. I'd probably have to go to Wikipedia to see for sure, but I don't think that there were any draft day trades in that first round. Oh, let me see. I'm trying to get it. Are you feeling me a little bit there?
Yeah.
Regulus?
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you.
Right? I mean, am I off base here or am
No,
I
I
close
mean,
to?
you also have to realize that I think that the problem with NHL drafting compared to most drafting is that you're taking very, very young, fresh players, and barely any of them are just NHL ready. Barely any.
Right.
In the NBA, these guys are starting right away, pretty much. In the MLB, they're not starting, and in NFL, they're starting. So now you're going to tell me that these guys are. You're going to tell me that these NHL players are starting right away. I mean, Slavkovsky started. He got hurt. He's out for a while, but he didn't look that great, that NHL ready. Shane Wright landed up back in the wherever level he is, but he's not up with the NHL.
Yeah.
You want to just look at like what's going on in general with some of these rookies. It's just not it's just not NHL ready players. And if you're gonna wanna draft and get an NHL ready player, it's just not happening.
Well, here's the funny thing. They had Austin Matthews ranked as a European skater, even though he was U.S. born, because he was playing in Europe. But right, so I'm trying to look if I don't know if this is showing me any trades or not. No, it's not really showing. Oh, here we go. So the Ottawa Senators got Logan Brown from New Jersey, but that was a trade that had already happened. I think that trade. Let me go look. I think that trade had already happened. Yeah, on June 24th, 2016. No, actually, it happened the day of the draft. So that was a draft, but you're talking about teams that swap picks. Right? That's all they did. They swap picks. I think that was draft day. Let me make sure that that's the day the draft was held. Yeah, so that was a draft day trade. Right? So in the first round, I'm looking at first rounds. So that was one. The Red Wings did do a draft day trade. Yeah, Joe Vitale. He's one of our announcers now. To the Rangers for a first round pick and compensatory second round pick. Detroit. So that was a draft day trade. That was
when you are remaking a team and you're starting from that low down.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't want to necessarily just make. You may want more of the draft picks than
Now even
a
St.
high.
Louis made a draft day trade. So there were some picks. So there were, even as deep as that draft where I was wrong. I will admit I was wrong. There were some draft day picks. There were some draft day trades on that. Not big ones, but there were some. Right? It is, Dr. Detroit, because if you took one or two players and swapped them out, they would be equal. Right? It wouldn't be much for them to be equal. Right now, I'm talking big players, and I'm not saying these trades would ever happen, but if you took Vaviletsky and put Vaviletsky in goal, and then you put Austin Matthews on that team, so you made two changes, I think that, that team has enough to beat or even up with them. So that's what I'm talking about. So it is a lot more minuscule than you think it is. I don't think they would. I don't. They might. Maybe.
Get another power play over here.
Maybe.
Coming up.
Maybe AC. I mean, I know AC's really AC generator. I know for a fact this guy is really, really big on the draft, and he's really good at it. He really understands it. Right? He understands it better than I do, and I will admit that. It's possible, AC. I'm not buying into it right now. I'm really not. No, I don't think he does either. I don't think he does either, but I think he gets 2 picks in the first round. I think he takes those bottom 10 picks, because that's what they're going to be. Right? That's exactly what they're going to be. He takes those 2 bottom 10 picks, and he gets up into the top 15, maybe.
I think you can move up to 13.
Right?
I mean, the Islanders moved up, traded their first rounder.
Dr. Detroit, I think in a 7-game series, maybe you add a third player. But think about that. You make 3 changes, and now you're even up with them in a 7-game series. That's what I think. Two players is a game by game, but in a series, I got to go with that. While the Blues would love a generational player, they wouldn't sell the farm for one. They're banking on Thomas Kyrou being centerpieces of the future team. That's true. I agree with that. So where did Buchhhh say coaches don't trust young guys? I showed it earlier. He said it in the post-game interview after the Sharks. I played it earlier, bud. Let me see. Hold on a second. Let me hold on. Hold on, guys. Oh man, where is this? So hold on. I know what I gotta do.
Impressively enough for the Blues in this first period against a team that, just
So I already showed it once, and I know I'm going to take a strike, so I'm not going to show it again. But this is the interview that he did, and you can find it on YouTube. It's the interview he did with Panger and Kelly after the Sharks game. And he absolutely said that they were talking to him about playing center, and he said the coaches don't trust young guys. Right? I think Parayko needs to go. I think Krug is a lot better than people give him credit for. Krug is. Oh wow, that was off the goalpost. But Bennington's in a shooting gallery, right? And that was just nobody there to protect him. The power play itself is pretty terrible. Nitro, I'm with Parayko. Well, Parayko just needs to get tough this offseason, and he hasn't been, but he needs to be. Right? He hasn't been, but he needs to be, but he hasn't been. And with 2:30, I'm at 2:35 to go in the period. I'm going to take a short break. I'll let Shaggy talk to you guys. I'm going to get some more to drink to keep my throat dry, moist because to keep my throat, keep my voice wet. It's drying out in this room. So I'll be right back, Shagalicious.
Yeah. All right. I don't know. He's not really focusing on the game. I've been watching this game. Blues have been very, very good on keeping that puck in the offensive zone. Oh, great. And as he leaves, Robert Thomas with his 15th goal of the season. Wow. Do I think the bread man is better with Kane or Tarasenko on a line? I like this. I like Panarin with Kane. Panarin with Kane was really, really good. I do feel that if it doesn't work out after a while, it might be needed to change him here or there and see if it works mid-game. If it seems to work, then I would switch him. You can't really just switch two guys who had such a good chemistry with each other. Okay, you cannot just switch them. You can't just move around players left and right when you don't know the effect it could have on the team. The Blues tie up this game 1-1. They are outshooting, the Kings 11-8. The Kings are a team that also added in a goalie and Gavrikov and traded a couple of players. You'll see all these. It's going to take a little while for all these teams who made moves to actually, get back to.
Hey, Thomas scored.
Yeah, you leave. Thomas scores. Well, what is this?
So maybe I should leave more often, huh?
Well, don't say that too much. The chat will enjoy that one.
No, I'm sure there's a lot of people who would enjoy me not being on the show anymore. I needed that too. Thomas is on my fantasy team. He's like the only Blue. Him and Benner are the only now playing Blues that I still have left on the team. I tried to trade Akari and O'Reilly, but I couldn't. I was getting offered junk for him. Working well together, and it seems that Kane, Panarin are trying too hard. Possible. I've told Shaggy this, Tony. I think that they made way too many moves.
I don't know.
That's a dirty goal. That's what the Blues don't get enough of.
Yeah,
absolutely needed that.
Physical, intense.
Yeah, but being there, guys being around the net. So firing the puck at the net and the puck being loose around the net, and that's what it takes.
There are a lot of times when you don't see it on the shot board. I've seen this before where your shots are, 7-8 shots in a period, but there's like 4 or 5 chances you had around the net that are not considered shots. You know what I mean?
But this is the first time in 4 or 5 games that the Blues haven't been outshot 2-1 in the first period.
No, and 11-8 shots at the end of the first period. Tied at 1 with a team that just got a new goalie, has a little bit of momentum.
Yeah.
Korpisalo's been good. I actually did not start him.
Matlow said if it wasn't for Ashley, Big Bob, Ryan, and some others, you'd be my favorite person on the show. So everybody else on the show is ranked ahead of me, and it's my show. Think about that. That's how messed up I am. I mean, these guys like other people on the show more than they like me, and this is my show. This actually, were you here? I don't think you were. When I used to call this show the Hawaii Blues Fan Show.
Right.
This show used to be called the third name. No, the third name that the show got. Our second name it got was the Hawaii Blues Fan Show. Right. Originally called it A View from Afar. Then I think I went to the Hawaii Blues Fan Show. And then I went to the BlueNote Fan Report. I think I might have had another name in there, but I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
I think after A View from Afar, I had another name, but before I went to the Hawaii Blues Fan.
You could have gone with the Blues Clues, but
The Blues what?
Blues Clues. I ever watched that as a kid?
Nah, I wasn't going there. I know my kids watch it. I'm a lot older than that, there, buddy. My kids
Yeah.
watch that. Right? That's the only reason I know it.
Yeah.
Tommy says Brown looking good tonight, guy. Hope he buries one. I would like to see that too. Yeah, they're all better. Sorry, guy. Grab a flight to AZ and catch a game at Mullet Arena. Taking the fam for a boy's birthday, flying in from Idaho. Oh, that's cool. So you're not in St. Louis, Tony? You're one of my non-St. Louis viewers? I have a lot of non-St. Louis viewers. I think that's cool, though. Hey, Darkness, how you doing, buddy? Sorry I missed you, man. I'm eating my gluten-free chocolate chip cookie.
I got to go get some brownies.
Oh, I know what they can call that.
No. Not those brownies. I mean, my
No taste. Wow. That cookie has absolutely no. The only taste in it is a chocolate chip.
You got to dip it in milk.
I'm not a milk guy.
You're not a milk guy?
Not with cookies, no.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Tony, hoping we'll get to see you then.
Yeah,
No, I'm not that old, but I am Captain Kangaroo and Romper Room old.
So, got to do a little Bugs Bunny.
Oh, no, that one, yes. No, not that one. Bozo the Clown. I'm Bozo the Clown old.
Ugh.
Right.
Bozo the Clown.
What? Hey, Tony, if you you can send this to me offline because I don't want you to say it here. But if you could send me a message, let me know what you paid for those tickets. I'd like to know what you paid for those tickets at Mullet. Wow, I thought my throat was dry before. Wow. Felt like I just ate a mouthful of sand.
Yeah.
I have a I think I have a gluten allergy because as bad as my stomach is, but I just can't do the non-gluten stuff. I just can't do it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I just...
You know what, Nitro, you're right. He has played well since he came back. I'll try and get you to the stats here in a little bit. My computer is acting really funky again. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to bring stats up. I will try.
If not, I could get you the stats.
Oh, I got him. Here we go. So let's go through the stats. Shots were 11-8 in favor of St. Louis. St. Louis had 17 attempts to the 19 attempts of the LA Kings. St. Louis had 10 hits. The Kings, they're not mighty when it comes to hitting. They only had 3. St. Louis gave it away once. Kings gave it away twice. St. Louis took it away twice. Kings only took it away once. St. Louis blocked 7 shots. The Kings blocked 3. Face-offs. St. Louis won that face-off battle 8-5 for 62% to 38%. Let's see here. This is my laptop are not being friends today. I'm trying to get to the game summary. Here we go. So at the 3:14 mark on what could possibly, but was probably smartly not, called goaltender interference, Gunstrom gets his 7th of the season. Assists from Raw and Capari. And then with just under 2 minutes left in the period, at the 18:05 mark, Robert Thomas gets his 15th of the year on an assist from Falk, and the Bushman with his 5th assist in 2 games. Nitro, that is true. That is true. I haven't had Girl Scout cookies in a while. Will do. They were pricey. 4th row behind the Blues bench. Yeah. I'll find the price. Thanks, Tim. You don't have to, man. It's up to you. They're saying a Chicago thing here. So, I know what he was talking about. Bozo the Clown.
Mm-hmm.
It was Bozo. Yeah. He was on WGN.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Had the red hair.
Oh, yeah. I can't stand any clowns. So.
Right?
Except
the Krusty the Clown he He was the inspiration for Krusty the Clown.
Interesting.
Take gluten out of the cookie, all you are left with is cardboard flavor. Yeah. Like I said, I felt like I ate a mouthful of sand. Not a bad period for the Blues. I'll take 1-0. The Blues are 0 for 2 on the power play. They got Lizotte. I can't pronounce this. Lizotte. You know how to pronounce that?
Lizotte.
Lizotte. At the 10:55 mark for tripping, and Gunstrom, the goal scorer, also for the 14:50 mark for tripping. Okay, AC, you got to understand. See, first of all, guys, let's take a step back. You guys look micro. Look at what this team is right now. Great. I don't look micro. I look macro. I look back, and I say, if this team, if you take away some of the bullshit, and it's equal, I think Brown can score that many goals. Look at what Thomas did last season. Right? Thomas is also a passer, not a goal scorer. Brown is more of a goal scorer than he is a playmaker. Brown should be playing winger instead of center, but he's a center. That's how I see it. I said that Krusty the Clown came from Bozo was the inspiration for Krusty the Clown. It's almost, the hair is almost the same, just a different color. Yes, I do know that. We talked about that earlier. Yeah, see, that's the difference. I think Brown is a lot more, and I think maybe even Shaggy agrees with me on this. He does, but that's not what he does. That's not what he is. I think he should shoot more, but he's more of a playmaker. Right? I think he's more of a playmaker. My issue with this is everybody talks about what this team is now. And to me, that's missing the biggest point. Oh, I don't think he understood the reference. I think you did, Shaggy, didn't you?
What?
Krusty the Clown? You know who Krusty the Clown is, right?
Yeah, I do, but
You're not a Simpson fan?
No.
Yeah, I'm not either, to be honest. I'm not. The majority of the animation that's on Fox, I don't find funny at all.
I don't find The Simpsons funny. I'm more of a Family Guy than a Simpsons guy. So.
Oh, I don't find that one funny at all.
All right. Well, that's what you said.
I don't find Seth MacFarlane funny. I don't find toilet humor funny. I don't find
What?
I don't find some of that stuff funny at all.
When it
Right,
came to cartoons, my favorite always was Bugs Bunny, and Woody Woodpecker.
Yeah, I think I'm old school when it comes to that.
Mm-hmm.
Nitro, not going to happen. He's already said he's not. Nitro, he's already said, I'm not making changes. This is what it is. He's already said that. He said it in the interview after the trade deadline. See, Matlow's actually agreeing with me. Wow, that never happens. Matlow agreeing with me. It's intermission. Where is everybody? Nobody's here. Goyer, Seeper. Tessa, I haven't seen you in a while. Tessa, fuck. Wow, Brandon. Make John Hefner work. Danny Johnson, John Hefner, Craig Mose, Dustin Mullins, Tammy Pemberton, and Marianne Lister. Thank you so much for putting those thumbs in the air. We greatly, greatly appreciate you. Appreciate each and every one of you for watching the show tonight. I was at almost 20 earlier. Now I'm down to 9. Oh, well. Here's what it is.
Oh, yeah. No, we'll get more. Night's getting late. You know what I mean? It's a late night. Guy, you good over
Put
there?
on my rare hat.
There you go.
Logan Brown has 20 to 25 goal scoring upside with the ability to play both center and wing, and that has a ton of value. I agree. In fact, I think he has more than that. I think he's 25 to 30, if not more. I think he's more than that. A lot of people need goals tonight. Bolduc and Snugard are another season out still. Yeah, they've already said that. They've already said that. Yeah, Armstrong said that. That they're still waiting on them. He sees them coming in 2 years. Right? He sees them coming in 2 years. I guess you could say that. No, Bolduc will not make the team next year. He's still way too far out. Right? He's still too far out. Still trying to eat this cookie, man. I mean, maybe, I don't know if you can see it, but it even looks like it's sand. Wow. I'm a glutton for punishment. I'm a gluten for punishment.
Mm-hmm. You gotta just, you gotta have some of these like gluten-free cookies that they make in some of these stores. Some of them are pretty good.
The ones that I will not eat are the vegan ones. I will not eat a vegan cookie. I've done it before. I will never do that again.
You got to go with Rice Krispies, boy.
Huh?
You got to go with Rice Krispies.
Yeah, I'd rather have that. I went to Whole Foods and got some. I will never do that again. Okay, Darkness. Let me make this clear. The Blues will probably not make any splashes in free agency. I don't see them signing anybody. Maybe they get a low-end guy. Yes, I do, and do not put it on there. If you do, Juicy, you're going to be put in timeout. I will tell you that right now. Okay. Yeah. Well, I guess people don't listen to me.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm with that, Tony. I absolutely, I've been bringing that up. Right? We've got two guys now that are juniors that are 20 years old that should have gone to their minor league teams, but they didn't. They stayed there. Right? I agree with that. I've been on that train there for a little bit.
Yeah. Now, I believe as well that when you're remaking a team and you're starting from scratch, the only players you're signing are not necessarily players that you're going to look in the line and go, oh my gosh, that's such a fill to that spot. You know what I mean? It's more of where you're taking players and saying, can I build up this player that in 2-3 years, when I add my bigger names and the rest of the team figures itself out, that they're going to fit with what we want to play.
Well, I got to put this out. So, Shags, before you were here, some of the guys that were here, right? I had talked about somebody who watched this show from one of my groups, and he watches it anonymously and that, and I threw a shout out to him. I got a text from him and it says, "Thank you for the Mr. Guy for the shout out." And I'm not going to say for your show. He let me saying I can call him Bobak for the show, but Bobak, thank you for acknowledging that. And I just wanted to say thank you for watching the show. This is a guy who was in one of the groups that I was in, and the first time he heard me talk, he's like, "Dude, you do a podcast. Let me know what it is because I got to listen. You have such a good voice." So I appreciated that, and that's why I threw that shout out there. Let's see. Newgard is definitely another season out. Simply due to age. He's 18, 19 in July. Unless they keep him on the roster, he can't go to the AHL until he's 20. Plays, he can't go back to the NCAA. Yeah, he's not going back. If he's in junior, well, if he's still in the NCAA, that's where I think he should be. Right? Don't let him come out. Keep him in the NCAA next year. Don't bring him up. That's where I think. I don't think he signed his entry level contract yet. So as long as he hadn't signed it, let him play in the NCAA another year. Yeah, it did. It did come into play with Neighbors. Well, that's where they're hoping Neighbors will be number 8 of their top 9, but I don't see it. Well, I mean, he's got to get over the injuries, you know. Actually, they have to have an ELC before the 9 games. Right? They absolutely have to have it before the 9 games. I'm just watching one of the commercials on here. Sorry, Shags. Trying to keep it going. Where we at? Yeah, Bolduc will play. Bolduc might get his 9 games, but if he gets them, I don't think he gets them right away. I think he gets them in the midseason. I think he goes to Springfield first. Right? I don't see him making the team out of camp. I think the smart thing with him is you send him down. You send him down to Springfield, and then once you get, you get a point, then you go. No, he will not. He might score 9 goals over a career. But yeah, so 9 games. What it is for 9 games? You can play up to 9 games before you burn a year of that entry-level contract. Once you play that 10th game, now your entry-level contract starts. So you get a 9-game tryout is what it is. Right? That's what it is. Right, Shags?
Yeah, something like that. It's around that era.
Yeah, so it's not 9 per year, it's 9 games. Once you get to that 10th game, once you play your 10th NHL game, your contract has to start.
I think that could change over the years as well, though. They might move that number around. So
they haven't for a while. It's been 9 games for a while.
Yeah.
There are some things that need to be fixed in the CBA. I absolutely agree with that. I got to eat something. If I don't eat, I'm going to get sick. So.
Yeah, I'm a little hungry too. I'm gonna get myself something to eat and drink.
I'll be right back. Well, I don't. It actually, I was talking earlier and I didn't get to go over this. I said that I've changed where I put the blame, that my blame is now 40-40-20. I put 20% on the players, I put 40% on Armstrong, and I put 40% on Berube, or the coaching staff. Right? On the coaching staff. Right? I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true. In fact, that can't be true. Because we've had more than one top 10 pick in 19 years. Go back to 2006 or 2005. 2006. That's not 20 years. That's 26. So that would be, he'd had a number 1 overall pick there. Right? Hold on. Oh, the game's back on, by the way. I'm looking at this, so if Shag comes back, I'm gonna put him up here, even though I know he's not there yet. Oh, there he is.
All right, sorry.
So I'm looking at something here real quick, Shags.
All right.
So I'm looking at first round picks. Armstrong, if he's been here 19 years, that means he would have gone back. So in 2006, we had the number 1 overall pick. I don't know if Armstrong was here then or not. I'd have to go back and look. When he came in, I'd have to go back and look. But in that period, going back from 2006, we've had the number 1 overall and the number 4 overall. We had the number 4 overall in 2008. We got Petrangelo in that one. Oh, Bennington's playing good again. I'm looking here to see, other than that, the only teen picks that we've had I'm looking. We had Bolduc at 17 last year, but I think that when we picked him, we picked that pick up from somebody else, right? And then we had in 2010 we had the 14th and 16th pick. In 2009 we had the 17th pick. In 2007 we had the 13th and the 18th pick. That's where we're at there. I don't know why they don't put his. I don't know who you're talking about, Matt Lowe. Treated like cost and development from a distance. Could be. Could be. You know what, Nitro? I don't trust Berube at all. At all. 06 wasn't Armstrong. Well, then that wasn't 19 years. He hasn't been with the 19. I think he's been 10 years. That might be a better number. If you've been here 10 years, yeah. Okay. Well. Well, he's going to get one top 10 this year, and he shouldn't have. That's the thing. That's the thing, Mike. I think that's the thing that everybody forgets. How did we get from being a 109-point team to one of the worst teams in the league in one season? Losing two players. Two players. We lost Perron. We lost Husso. So you brought in Grice. Now, Grice, you can sit there and say, well, blah, 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 blah. But Grice's numbers and Bennington's numbers are the same. Our defense went to crap, and our offense went away. To me, that's on the coach. Oh, Nitro was talking about Pareko. Okay. Yeah, he does that a lot. Right? There we go. The Blues aren't getting on a hot streak. It's going to be a top 10 pick.
I still believe it's not going to, even if it's a top 10 pick, it's not top 5.
No, the highest it's going to be, I think the highest it's going to be is 7. I think 7 to 12 is where we're going to end up. 7 to 12.
There's a couple good players you could get at 7 that I think could be potentially better than the top 3 picks.
No, I'm with 7 to 12. Right?
Right.
I'm sticking with that number.
Guy, if you do get one somehow, some way.
Say again?
If you guys get one somehow, some way. I mean, I could see the Blues not drafting. I know they'll draft Bedard because he seems to be the one. It could be the worst.
I'd trade the pick.
I'd trade the pick.
First of all,
you could get back a load for him.
Okay, hold on, Tony. Perron was the locker room. These leaders were proper leaders, and it was lip service. Perron was the uncrowned captain. But you had Tereshchenko, who was actually a lot more of a captain in the locker room than you think. And you had Shin, and who's the other one I'm thinking of? I can't spit it out now. There's one more. Bortuzzo. I'm sorry if him leaving left you on that bad. Nah, you weren't much of a team to begin with, and this was a team. This is a lot more on coaching than you think, Tony. I'm sorry. And you know what? This is not the coach to take you into a rebuild. I absolutely, that's my issue with this. If you want to do a rebuild retool, you got to have a rebuild retool coach, and you don't. Absolutely don't. Bennington makes a good save there. And here's the thing. I don't think, Perron, Tony, you may not agree with me here. Perron left on his own. Right? Perron left on his own. And he said that, but that's not what people heard. Right? He got asked a very yes or no question. Yes or no question, and he clarified it. And he clarified it in a way that everybody heard something different. Ron got asked, did the Blues offer you a contract? He may have, but where he's at now, look at where we are. I'm sorry, Matt Lowe. This system that he's coaching doesn't work. And it didn't work in the AHL either. He didn't win a championship in the AHL, did he? To my knowledge, he didn't. Right? Shit, the owners of the Wolves were so upset, didn't like the Blues. They went to the brand new team. They went to the Knights. Hell, we lost 2 minor league teams to the Knights. Think about that. Back-to-back minor league teams went to the went to the Knights. I'm sorry. I just sit there and I see what I see. I'm wrong. No, what was I talking about before he did that?
I mean,
Huh?
I mean, you were discussing the draft. I think the problem with most Blues fans right here is you have to realize that you're not 1 player away, you're not 2 players away, and you're possibly not 3 players away. When you have that many holes to fill, and you need to figure out how to create an entire team, because you know that your top line is good, but you know that from there on, you just don't got it. The depth isn't there. The defense depth is not there. And your goalie is the only spot where you say, I'm fine. Then you say to yourself, good, okay, let's get out of Grice off season. You're gone.
No, my blood pressure is not the thing that you got to worry about. I have great blood pressure. I have the heart, and I've been told this. My blood pressure, my pulse is that of a 25-year-old. I've been told my heart is as strong as a 25-year-old's. I said I doubt that, but yeah, so you don't have to worry about my blood pressure. Jen will not be the next captain. The next captain is absolutely going to be Thomas. I guarantee you that. Giving Parayko an A didn't cause a rift. I think you're wrong there, right? The rift absolutely comes from how. The rift to me comes from how Berube coaches these guys. He's trying to make Thomas and Kyrou two-way defensive players, right? I don't think Berube's going to have a say in the captain. Oh, Levo just missed a wide open shot. Right? I got a 2-minute delay, so that's why I don't think that Berube's going to have a say in this. I really don't. And if you're looking at this, think about when you put a C on somebody, you want it long term. Right? And really, they thought that there was going to be O'Reilly would be a lot more long-term than he was. Right? I really do. I thought O'Reilly would be a lot more long-term than he was.
Do you find the Blues to be playing harder only for the chance that they know that they're playing in a sense, for where they can be in the future?
You know what? They're playing for a paycheck.
Correct, but they're also paying for where they're going to be in the future. You have some very
they're playing for a paycheck. I don't think that I don't think that really, unless look at Thomas Kyrou. They signed 8-year deals,
right,
starting next year.
I don't mean those players. I mean guys like Neighbors. A guy like the guy who I've seen play a little bit harder is Blay. Ever since he's played a little harder since
Blay just signed a contract. Blay just signed a 1-year contract.
Correct. I believe that since he signed his contract, I mean the reason why they took him in a contract in general was because I think they saw that he's going to just do well in St. Louis, and that's where he likes it.
Hey, Jose, how you doing, man? I seen your TikTok that you talked about the Jose Can You See, and I did that, and I was like, oh, man, Jose hates me. I I want to know. I forgot to ask you this, and if you did, I'm going to be mad at myself for not going. Did you all get to open up for Joy Coy? I need to know if you got to open up for Joy Coy. Let me know. Matt says Pareko's having a down year, but I don't get why people are running him out of town because he's been having a down year for a couple of years now. With his injuries and that, I think his back is shot. I really do. I think this is a guy that is going to end up. I can see him having to medically retire a lot earlier than he wanted to be honest with you. Right? And I do like the Krug and Tucker pairing so far. It has worked well tonight. I mean, the fact that they're playing this team even, Kings are a damn good team. I don't put that past them. The Kings are a damn good team. Right? They're a playoff team, right? Shags?
Well, technically.
They're in a playoff spot, right?
Yeah, but I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely we are, and we've needed to, and I do. I just have this feeling, Bud, that Berube's going to be a lame duck next year after next. I think that I don't think he makes it through next year. I really don't.
Right. Yeah, he will not be the coach if they win another cup in the next coming years. Oh
no, they won't. He won't. My problem is, and it looks like, and I've said this before, it's like they went. I had a couple of Canadians. I had some Canadian kids, and actually a couple of them had played hockey with Robert Thomas. Like they grew up with Robert Thomas, and they played in his yard and that, so they knew him. And that they said they'd lost. They're out of touch with him now, but they knew him. And I said, to me, the Blues went all in on a system that wins you a cup once every 10 to 15 years. And one of the guys in the back of the car, because I had four of them, and one of them sat in the back of the back. I have a flex, so I have a third row seating. And he goes, I just told my friend that the other day. I was like, yeah, so I do. I think that they kind of went all in on a system that doesn't work. Right? It's the year the Blues won the cup, they were a Cinderella team. You can sit there and say, but they, in all actuality, were a Cinderella team. Very few. Nobody in the know. Go look. You're not going to find anybody in the know that picked the Blues to win that cup. And Dave, I think this is a very, very important thing. You signed the wrong coach. When Berube's contract was up, I think you should have negotiated with Montgomery to replace Berube. Montgomery would have taken this team to great heights, and we wouldn't have had the sell-off, and we would have been able to afford these guys. I do agree with that. I think Steve Ott will get a head coaching job very soon. And my fear is if we lose him, that we're going to lose our only offensive style coach. Right, Dave? Like I said, I am so on board with this. I really do. But here's my thing. It is up to Berube to hire assistants, right? For the most part, or at least approve the hiring of them. If that's the case, It did to a point. It got Berube a contract. Then when Montgomery gone, he said, screw it. That's not what I want to play. He brought in a defensive coach.
Correct.
Absolutely brought in McTavish. McTavish is a defensive-minded coach. McTavish was the worst hire of an assistant in forever. You cannot bring in an assistant coach that thinks the exact same way that you do. It doesn't work. The best ships I were on were when the CO and the XO were different, were opposites. I had a hard-ass CO. I wanted a more friendly Sailors XO. If I had a friendly Sailors XO, I wanted a hard-ass, or friendly Sailor CO, I wanted a hard-ass XO. Because it worked. It worked. COVID really killed him. Hard to say what is and what could be, but we weren't the same from the shutdown, bubble hockey.
I think COVID did a lot, and it was not the actual COVID. I think that
Bennington's had COVID 3 times. I think that gets missed. But Tony, here's the thing, and I've put this out there before. I got told, and I'm not going to say by who, but I got told by a very, very good source, one that I absolutely trust, that Berube on the 2nd or 3rd day of training camp, when they went back for the bubble, guys were in the locker room talking about, their families and things like that. And Berube walked in the locker room and says, I don't want to hear another effing word about your families. You are here to do one thing and one thing only, and that's win a cup. What's going on back at home doesn't matter. That team shut the F down. That team shut the F down, and we saw it in the bubble. We absolutely saw it in the bubble. There was no buy-in to the system. They didn't listen to the coaches. Right? Bennington was while he was good, he was also god-awful at times. Right? I'm telling you, I'm there. I think the next coach will be Drew Bannister. No, I don't think so. Coach T-Birds to the Calder Cup Finals, and he has a team as a big threat again. Well, they were last for a while, and they had a big winning streak that helped them move up. I know you're more into minor league hockey because you live in minor league hockey area, Michael, than I am. I've got to pay more attention to it. And Tony says he could see that happening. I don't. Well, we'll see. I don't know, man. I really don't know. I'll tell you what. I know who I want. I just don't think that there's any way in hell that we could get him. Right? I really don't.
Who's that?
The guy that I want, and I want to see if someone can bring up his name. I think someone will pull it. There's a guy that I want that I think would be the perfect coach for this team in a rebuild, a retool.
Who? Not Bruce Cassidy.
Oh, okay. He's saying I could see Berube saying that in the bubble, right? I'm telling you, I got told that, and I asked this person, "Are you dead serious?" And he said, "Yes, I am." And he told me it offline, off the record. So I shouldn't have ever said it, but it's far enough along now that I'm going to say it. Right? It's far enough out of the bubble, but it just.
Babcock.
Say again.
Claude Julien.
Nope. You got to think. You got to think outside the bubble. You got to think outside the box on this one. There is a coach out there that is quote unquote, and I say quote unquote available, that would be perfect for this team, but I don't think that there's any way this team would get him. The key here is the quote unquote available. Funny. No, not Daryl Suter. I know you guys know this. Not Keenan. Nope. Keenan will never coach in the NHL again. That's an obvious one. Someone's going to get this. I know these guys are going to get it. I'm surprised Shaggy hasn't got it yet.
I'm just thinking of guys like Rocky Thompson and stuff.
No. When I say this name, you're gonna the V8 moment. There we go, Maddie. Coach Q. Coach Quinville would be absolutely perfect. Well, there we go. (2-1) LA. Right? I think Coach Q would be the absolute perfect guy for this, but the NHL right now is not going to let him back for a while. Right?
Guy, I'm actually
that was like a broken defensive play. That was a broken defensive play.
Guy, I'm going to go off for a moment. I'll be back. All right?
Yeah, no problem. Tucker just got beat. Tucker and Krug just got beat. Bennington stood no chance on that. Yeah, I see. No. He will get a chance, but it's going to take a lot longer, right? And he's still got to go talk to the NHL. There's still a suspension that's got to come, or training or something like that. That's why I put the quotes around available, right? What he said in that room when that was brought up was absolutely despicable and wrong of a leader. That's the last thing a leader should have said. I absolutely believe that. Who else we got? We got 11 likes now. Low number, but I know that we got things going on. Jose Figueres do it in there. Jason Nichols, Gloria Seeper, I said it right, folk. Laura Brandon, Danny Johnson, John Hefner, Craig Mose, Justin Mullins, and Marianne Listener. Thank you so much. Right? Well, it's not that he didn't report. On him. Yeah, I'm seeing that. What he did, basically, when they brought this in, he said, and the quote was, "I don't care about this stuff. I've got a cup to win," and he left the room. Right? So that's the take on him. Okay, I'll check it, Tony. And hey, welcome to the show, man. I know you haven't been on in a while, but thank you. And don't come back more often. We enjoyed you here. Great comments today by you. Oh wow. How many did you buy? Did you buy 4? Dude. That's almost my rent. Wow, that's all I got to say. Yeah. Thanks, Tony. Greatly appreciate you, my friend. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, and you got to deal with it. Right? Who do we play next? I honestly don't even know. I think we play on Tuesday. I think this is like the only little break we get. I'm pulling up the schedule now because I don't know it off the top of my head. Oh, we play Phoenix, Arizona on Tuesday. Then we get the Sharks at home, Columbus away, and then the Knights in the Wild in our building. Gonna be tough. Gonna be tough, man. Gonna be tough. Right? We could. Where are you at here? Torpedoes checking is fun to watch. He's gonna break out before Brown. I said that too. I do believe, but I don't think he's I like his shot, but I think there's a hitch in it that's going to prevent him from being that great of a goal scorer. I think his BN commander told yeah. It is what it is, man. Guys having fun tonight on the show? I only got 7 watching, but I'm trying. I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad that you're paying attention to me. I know I'm watching the game as much as I can. I'm really trying to pay attention to your comments tonight. Since I've got a delay, I'd rather pay attention to your comments. Yeah, the Kings are in the second spot. They're going to take on Seattle. I can see them beating Seattle. I absolutely can. How do you even put St. Louis in the hunt? There's no way we're even close. I don't know why they do that. I don't see that at all. Don't see it at all. Well, they're being out. I mean, shots this period, the Blues are being outshot big time, 16-5. You know, they outshot them 11-8. Now they're being outshot 16-24. Getting close to that 2-1 percentage again. They're down 1-0, or down 1 goal in this period, so 2-1 is the score. Let's see here. Your shot leaders for the Blues is Buchnevich with 4. And Levo's got 4 attempts. Hit leader, got a couple of them. Shin, Alexandrov, and Blay all with 3. Block leaders, you've got Letty, Scandella, and Pareko with 2. Oh, yeah, that was I just seen it. Well, yeah, that was a good save on that tip. Corpusalo just doing well. I really need Bennington to win this game tonight, even though I know he's not, because if he wins it, I have a chance, a small chance of getting into that 16th spot in my fantasy league playoff. And to do that, I need to have a really good weekend. And the only goalie that I know I got playing this weekend is Bennington. And I need the win because I know the guy I'm playing doesn't have a goalie playing. So anything I get in that, like if I get a win or an overtime win or an assist or something like that, it's an automatic point. Right? If they didn't sell off the farm, do you truly think that they would have made the playoffs? Be honest. Or do you really think that? If they would have made one major move, if they would have gone ahead and just realized that the mutiny was on and taken care of it, and realized that the leader really was the problem, then yes, I do think they would have made the playoffs if they wouldn't have sold off. I do think that they could have gotten in the second round, and that I really do. I think you had the players. I think you had. Hell, I tried to bring this up earlier. Where did O'Reilly start on Toronto today? What position did he play? Does anybody know? Right? This blew my mind. He was the fourth line center. O'Reilly, our top center, number 2 center, number 1, number 2 center, was their fourth center. Akari was a third line winger. Right? We had the talent. We didn't use it right. We didn't use it right, Mike. Little offsides. Did who win? Did who win, Matlow? I had Elliott play today, and he lost. So I really need Bennington to win. Thank you, Marilyn. Yeah, yeah. When he was with Nashville in the playoffs, right? Yep. I remember that. Yeah. No, actually, I think they lost. I have to look here real quick. I think Toronto lost tonight. I think they played Vancouver and lost. Yeah, they lost 4-1 to Vancouver. Well, the Blues are down 2-1, and another loss in the second. Outscored in the second. I'm telling you guys, I look at this and I shake my head. Tony Ekman, I know you're gone now, but thank you so much, my friend. I shake my head so much at what this team is. And Bernie said it today. Bernie said it at the beginning of the thing. Well, at that point, it won't matter to Boston. Boston will have the number one seed. They'll probably have the President's Trophy all sewn up by then, so it won't even matter. They'll probably, play their third and fourth liners majority of the game. Mike? Where am I at? Where was I thinking now? I kind of lost my place. This team should have been much better than what it was. And he talked about guys regressing and things like that. Guys not having good of years as they did last year and da-da-da-da-da. Problem is, why? That's the question. Why? Why? What went wrong? Nobody has addressed that. That hasn't been addressed. Right? And if you say, oh, they did address it by trading everybody. No, they didn't address it. Because we're still not winning. We still lost a bunch of games after O'Reilly got traded. We lost 6 straight games. Right? Well, you know what? It is what it is. You guys are going to sit there and tell me that it's players. Well, we traded everybody away, and we still lost 6 games. Right? We still lost 6 games after we traded O'Reilly. 6 straight games. And then you're going to, well, we got worse players. Well, no. It doesn't work that way. Doesn't work that way. You had players. You got rid of them because they were the problem. If they were the problem, then you should have started winning. Right? Right? The players weren't playing hard enough for us, so we had to get rid of them. Well, we did. You got new players, and they're still losing. Well, no, the players we got weren't good. It doesn't work that way. Right? No, I don't think the entire. I think the message should have been sent back in December, early December, and why is it a flawed? Okay, Bob, I don't want to get in an argument, but why is it a flawed view? Why is it a flawed view? Right? You went from a 109-point team to missing the playoffs. You went from basically almost making the Western Conference Finals again to missing the playoffs, losing 2 pieces. Technically, well, you lost more than that, but the major thing you lost was 2 pieces. Right? So you sit there and said players. You have put this so much on the players. Players aren't playing hard. Players aren't playing hard. Okay. You got rid of those players. Now you have new players. Are they still not playing hard? If you have new players and they're not playing hard, why are they not playing hard? But the problem you said was they're not playing hard. We're still not seeing them play hard. In the losses, have they played hard? They've been outshot 2-1 in almost every game, but the last one that they won. You're still seeing the same thing. You're still seeing the same type of play. Shouldn't matter. If you got rid of players that weren't playing hard, the players that you brought in should be playing hard. And they're not. Right? That is where my thinking is. That is why I think the way I think. The 2-goal leads, oh my goodness. We were blowing 2-goal leads before all of this. We make these trades, we get new players in, and what do? We go into a prevent defense every time. Yes, I absolutely do. I absolutely do. I think that losing Montgomery, which was the yin to his yang, took away that, and he hired a defensive assistant coach, and they went completely defensive this year, and it hasn't worked. I absolutely believe that. Absolutely believe that. I think the loss to Montgomery, I think Montgomery was the balance. Montgomery, here you go. Montgomery was my Ashley Jones, my slap shot. When Slapshot's not here, what do you guys say about this show? You guys bang me for this show when Slapshot's not here. You tell Slapshot to please get on the show. You beg her to come on the show because you say she balances me. Well, that's what Montgomery did to Berube. And when they lost Montgomery, and he didn't bring in that type of coach, he brought in McTavish, who's basically the same type of coach as Berube, that balance went away. That's my point. That's absolutely my point. You know what, Darkness? I said that earlier. I absolutely said that earlier. I did. That's not an unpopular opinion for me. Right? You know, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But that's what an opinion is. And I'm telling you it's in my opinion. I'm giving you my opinion, and my opinion matters just as much as yours. And yes, I will argue your opinion, but that's what I do. I love argument. I should have been a lawyer. I've been a damn good one if I didn't have ADHD and all these ailments that made it so hard for me to study and do writing and all of that stuff. I think I'd make a damn good lawyer. It is comparable. Look at what Montgomery did when he went to Boston. He's got him he's going to set records in Boston in his first year. Absolutely comparable. Right? I that's what I said. I felt like that those pieces shouldn't have mattered as much as they did. And I don't. And see, that's the thing. I go back and I say that those pieces didn't matter as much as they did. The coaching staff, the loss of Montgomery. I think if you want to put it on, and you want, for me, the loss of Montgomery and the hiring of McTavish is what set this team on the path that it went on. Right? I absolutely believe that right now. The loss of McTavish, the loss of Montgomery and the signing of McTavish is what put this team on the path that they're on now. Right? I'm getting beat up again for my going off on Berube, and I look, it's my opinion, Shag. I think that Berube, last season Berube had Montgomery, and Montgomery was the yin to his yang. And it worked. It worked very well. You had a 109-point team. And you came into this year and it started off good, but as soon as you had that first loss, as soon as you lost that 4-0 game in Winnipeg, and that horrible game in Winnipeg, and that just, I don't know what got said in the locker room or what happened after that, but it was just
I think it started also
after that.
I think it started also in the system where I think what they noticed after that loss in the playoffs last year, I think they were like, hey, we need that one more piece or that one more oomph. And they thought they'd have it coming into this year. And it just never started up, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Well, I just think that this team should have been a lot better than what it was.
No, it really should have. And I also think this is one of those teams that I think the front office, I can't say goes crying, but like they come home every night going, what we could have been.
Right. Well, I mean, there was a point during that 8-game losing streak where Armstrong straight out came out and said, Berube's not going anywhere, and the player's just going to have to deal with it. Live with it. Right? So there was a mutiny. I mean, they basically said that there was a mutiny and let it go. No, we are at the second intermission. It is 2-1 Kings. Blues have played well. I mean, I know they're down 2-1, and that was a defensive miscue that caused that second goal. You know what? Here's my. This is where. You know what, Matt Lowe? This is where I think that you guys and me are missing it. You're saying that this was a bad situation. I'm saying it should have never been a bad situation. Why?
Agreed.
My question on this is, why is it a bad situation? This was a 109-point team. This team came back with eight 20-goal scorers. Now you have one. Why did it get to this point? Oh, that wasn't going to happen. You know, it's I don't know if it's old coach, young players, but it's players and coaches not on the same page. And that's where I think it is. Right? Every time that I bring this up, you guys, well, it was just a bad situation. Well, why? That's the question that never gets answered. Why was it a bad situation? Should it have been a bad? Even Bernie Federko said, I didn't see this team being like this. I thought this would be a good team. So that's the point that I look at. What made this a bad team? What took this 109-point team to a 70-point team?
Again, this is not a bad team. Let me lay this out for you for a second. Okay.
Well, it is now.
Well, in 1 second.
It wasn't at the beginning of the season.
Let's talk about opening day. Yeah.
Yeah.
Number one, Buchnevich was not consistent playing. You have to constantly figure out your lineup every single day because Buchnevich couldn't stay healthy. Okay, let's lay it that way, first of all.
I didn't have many injuries at the beginning of the season.
I know, but what do you mean, Buchnevich?
They lost Buchnevich for a couple of games.
Okay,
but
look at his value to this team.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so you're going to tell me you're missing a top. If I tell you that the Rangers are missing Artemi Panarin, Mika Zibanejad, that's a hit in your top 6. That means you're taking a third liner and bringing him up to a top 2 lines. There's a reason why he's on the third line. Akari was playing center sometimes on that second line.
Hold on. Buchnevich played 46 games, so he missed.
How many?
46. So he missed 14 games.
Where are those 14 games?
Huh?
Where are those 14 games?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I think he had 2 separate injuries.
Right.
I don't want Mike Gill.
No, nobody wants Mike Gill. 1 second.
Right? You know what, Malo? I keep asking you and the others that sit there and do not put very much weight on Berube for this. Okay, fair point. But I think that 91, you're talking about when he stepped in front of the coach for yelling at Robert Thomas, or yelling at his line mate?
What do you mean?
Okay, and I got to be careful with this because the way I look at Tarasenko, I thought that was a defining moment for last year. I thought that brought this team together more than anything else.
I agree with that.
Right? I said that earlier, Darkness. I said that earlier. I brought that up earlier. So I do understand what you say about, when guys struggle, how it can rub off. But I didn't see. Look at what Buchnevich said just a couple days ago. Coaching staff doesn't trust younger players. Well, you know what? This is my thing, right? And you know what? Maybe there is this belief of, and it's huge in the military, and I think it's a flawed thinking. You got to tear them down to build them up. No, because most guys that you tear down don't get built back up.
Well, I know. Okay, and I'll say this like personally by me that I had a couple of teachers. I mean, in school, you know what I mean. That I remember I was the type of kid where I was a good kid, but I had my own sets of struggles, and the way they thought they could fix me up is by simply tearing me down. Is by simply, making me, telling my parents every 5 seconds, yo, dude, this kid's not anymore. He doesn't got it anymore. He's done. That's it. I don't know what's with him. And after a while, I just started getting pissed off at them, and I just didn't feel anymore like I was interested, Yeah. And I feel like
I want to go back and address this. When did that happen? That happened. I want to say that happened in January. In January. Right? And you look at the rest of the season, that team got stronger throughout the season. Not worse, they got stronger. That was a defining moment to me. Maybe I'm wrong. And yes, I do know about the, being the temper tantrum over the power play. And I've heard that about Vladdy, and maybe that's I get it. I get that. But the guy was your best player last season. He was your best player last season.
Yep.
Point per game player, or a little more than a point per game player. had 82 points in 70-something games. Right? Led your team in goals and points. Second or third in assists. Right? So, I mean, that's the way I see it. And I could be wrong. I admit that. I will tell you guys that. I will tell Matt Lowe. I will tell Bob. I could be wrong.
Third period just started.
However, I think that I'm backing my stuff up with some pretty solid evidence.
Well,
and that's what I'm trying. I'm not just stating, I know it's an opinion. I'm trying to form my opinion with the evidence that I've seen.
Well, what's your number one thing this offseason? What's your number one thing?
You know what?
It could be anything. It could be drafting. It could be trading. It could be.
I think that you've got to figure out the mutiny. I think that's what it comes down to. You still have this mutiny in the locker room, even with all these players that you've gotten rid of. I think the mutiny is still there, and I think that's got to be addressed first. I think first and foremost,
how are you addressing that? Because when you have to solve a mutiny, you either have to change the leader, or you have to bring back a reason for them to want. That means either the leader has to show them a reason to not want a mutiny, or you got.
Jackie, I don't have the answers, bud. I don't have the answers. I honestly don't have the answers.
I think
you know what? Hey, Mike brings up something. You know what? The number one thing that I would do, I would hire Pareko, anger management coach, like the movie Anger Management with Adam Sandler and
over there he couldn't get
Jack
angry.
Nicholson.
Over there he couldn't get angry.
What?
Over there he couldn't get angry.
Right? That's what I would do. I would hire someone to teach him how to be tough and do that. That's what I would do. What are you drinking, Shaggy?
I'm right now going with a Turkey Hill lemonade pomegranate.
What the hell is that? A beer?
No, Turkey Hill. You know what Turkey Hill is?
No.
I don't know if you could see it on my screen.
Yeah, it's not showing. Oh, okay. I see now.
Yeah. No, I just played what the heck? I just
Buchhhh just tried to shove one in.
Yeah, I just played an intense game of basketball, and I play very fast. After games, I get very winded, so sugar is very good for that. Get that, and get that, the ear back in you. So I'm eating now my homemade recipe for loaded cheese fries and lemonade pomegranate juice.
There you go. Oh, by the way, I saw Creed 3 last night. Man,
oh yeah, one second.
It
Do not
is
see
good.
anything. Do not, Guy. I will personally come there to Hawaii and put the microphone. Okay, if you tell me what happened. Okay.
I won't tell you what happened. I will just say the movie is really, really good. That Michael B. Jordan, did a fantastic job the first time directing.
You know what? I think he felt personal in this one. That's the thing. I think he took the role very personal.
Oh, he did. It's obvious, and it wasn't just that. There were some other things in it that were very well done. To me, this is the best Rocky universe movie.
Hey, 1 second. It can't be the best Rocky. It would be second best. I mean, Rocky.
Oh.
Really?
Which one do you think is the best Rocky up to this one?
I would have to go Rocky 1.
Oh, see, I think 4 was better than
4.
Yeah,
I found 4 good, but I didn't find it better than 1.
I did. I found the I like the putting the political ramifications.
I don't like political stuff.
But you got to see. But Jackie, I'm what, 15 years older than you?
I know, but I'm like,
okay.
I'm really not liking the fact that politics has caused that much separation between people in the world these days.
Okay. The mutiny is still there because 91 had convinced a lot of players that Tank is right, and that's possible. I'm not. The road ultimately leads to Ruby being fired. I'm not as naive as you think.
I don't think anyone's.
I don't think you're naive at all, Bob.
No,
I don't think you're naive at all.
I just think it's a longer road than you think. You think, people believe that Berube is going to get fired by the next exit. It's not true. First of all, they're going to keep him next season. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
They're gonna. Then next season, if it continues being bad and he's not even showing like, and the players are still going wrong, and the front office says we're done with him.
It's either he either develops the young players that he's got next year, and they see this development, and they see the development, or he's gone, and that's what it's going to come down to.
He also sees
they're going to force. They're forcing him. They're forcing him to be a rebuild coach.
Well,
Retool rebuild coach. That's what they're forcing him to be.
The question is, can he do it? The question is, can he do it, and can he believe in himself that he can do it? Because I could see them having a mutual parting.
Yeah, I think they could too.
You know, he could say to them, look, you're looking to build your team. I'm looking to win. You do not have the players that want me. There are teams out there going to be firing left and right. I think there's a bunch of coaches that are going to get fired at the end of the season. And because that's true, I think Berube might say, well, I have some better options than sitting here.
No problem, Lance, man. No problem, friend. No, so
I think the closest thing you're going to get to him leaving on this offseason is a mutual parting. Firing, you will not see.
Well, you're not going to get a mutual parting. Well, the problem is they're not going to pay his salary. They're not going to pay him $10 million to go coach somewhere else.
Unless they believe that they have a guy they want to bring in, or they're that desperate.
They don't have the money, Shag. They don't have the money to be spending $10 million for somebody that's to coach somewhere else.
Right, but that's why you keep him next year.
Yeah, that's what I mean, they're firing the puck. They're firing the puck. They're trying to get pucks on net this period.
No,
I mean, and that's good. See,
job.
a lot of times when the Blues are behind in the third, they still get outshot. Now,
well,
so far,
the shots are only 6 apart, and
they're actually still getting outshot this period.
Well,
they're behind and they're being outshot 5-4. And to me, that's an issue. When you're behind, you shouldn't be getting outshot. You should be out shooting.
Well, that was no, I believe look, the Blues this game have been very physical, especially on that forecheck. They've gotten out of the zone quite quickly, I should say.
Yeah.
Kings just helped them out with that.
Well, I mean, they've out-hit them 22-14, and that's great, but
out-hitting
there hasn't been that much of a forecheck. I mean, you watch when LA comes in, they come in uncontested almost every single time.
Not necessarily. You got to watch it. No, you might be behind me, but I mean, there's a bunch of situations. Wow, they're getting the puck to the net a bunch. The
Blues just hold the puck in their own zone more than they do, and then when they do take it up, it's one guy going straight through the neutral zone. Thomas, just now, straight through the neutral zone. He had 2 Kings on him. He stops at the blue line, throws it back, and then it gets pushed out of the zone, and then the Kings steal it. What good was that? What good was that? Right there. Absolutely none. It's 2-1. Kings, the Blues are being outshot 29-22. This period, they're being outshot 5-2. Actually, shots are even now, 5-5.
All right. We have a penalty coming up.
Hey, there's Bush Navy. Just threw the puck into nobody.
We have
no forecheck, no back check, no back check.
We have another penalty coming up on Lizotte.
On Lizotte?
Yeah. Lizotte's being way over physical this game.
Yeah.
That's his second penalty over there. I think similar penalties.
Do you like Mikkola?
I'm like, look, the Rangers' defense has not been great. Okay. Yeah. And Mikkola has done a good job, but it's going to take a while for him to learn the offense. I think he's done very well defensively, but offensively, well, I don't know. He's not. Let's just say I'll give him for right now, a B-.
Oh, I'm not even seeing the penalty yet, man.
Yeah, I know.
I'm at 1354. I'm at 1354.
Oh, yeah, you got a little bit. You a UFC guy?
Say again?
You're a UFC guy or no?
Not really.
I'm going back and forth between the Blues and the UFC.
I'm not Dita. I liked Mikkola. I really did. I'm kind of. I was not happy that he was part of that trade with Terry.
No, I believe I like his defense. Just the way the Rangers like to play, it could take a little time to just learn how they like to how they work. Mikkola's had a goal before Blay did for them, so.
Yep.
Blay did not get.
Blay got a goal in his first game.
I know. I mean, Blay did not get a single goal with the.
Plug it in, guy, you depressing bastard. Plug what in? I'm not sure what you're talking about. Actually, I'm more interested in talking about the Rocky universe than I am this game right now. What you think the best Rocky is Rocky 1, and I actually think that I don't think that was the worst one. I think overall, I mean, it's okay, but I think Rocky 4 was much better. There's been what, 7 Rocky movies? No, 7, 8. There's been 9 of them.
I would go Rocky 1. Then I would go Creed from 2015.
Yeah.
Rocky 3. Rocky 4.
Rocky 3 for me isn't. Well, there's parts of Rocky 3 I liked. I think that Mr. T as Clubber Lang was an outstanding.
I don't know. I find
casting,
I think
but
Rocky
the way they killed off Mickey, I didn't. To me, that just killing off Mickey kind of hurt that franchise. Though I do like what they did, bringing Apollo in to be the ref. The way they started killing people off after Rocky 3 kind of made it hard for me.
Well, Rocky 2, in my eyes, was bad.
Rocky what?
1 second.
I mean Rocky Balboa?
Yeah.
We're on the power play. Plug it in. Well, we'll try. I'm just now seeing it. I'm just the power play's just now starting for me. That's where I'm at. So I mean, I'm that far behind. I'm probably 3 minutes, 4 minutes behind. That's why I'm not talking much about the game, because I'm so far behind. You guys have already seen things. We're talking about the movie Rocky there, Ryan Green.
Sorry, my camera was playing tricks on me.
Yeah, no issues, man. No issues whatsoever.
I mean, the problem I had is Rocky 2 was terrible.
No, Rocky 2 was not horrible.
Oh, come on.
Rocky 2 was not horrible. I thought Rocky 2 took that franchise to a level of
still not one of the top 5.
Yeah, no, it is for me. I would put Rocky 2 like second or third. I like Rocky 2. I thought Rocky 2 developed the minor characters better. Right?
Do you think Rocky's one of the greatest franchise movies of all time? Franchise like movie sets of all time?
Yeah, I would put it up there.
Who would you put as number 1?
Of movie franchises?
Yeah.
What would you consider a movie franchise?
Star Wars, Pirates of the Caribbean.
I know, but how many movies make it a franchise?
More than 3. Not a trilogy.
More than 3.
Not a trilogy.
It's got to be Star Wars for me.
Yeah.
And the problem is, here's the thing. I don't consider the Marvel Cinematic Universe a franchise.
That's not a franchise. That's garbage.
Because the movies are so deep. Yeah, I have not seen a lot of the Fast and Furious, so I would really have to go watch.
Fast and Furious is just okay. Fast and Furious, for those that think that it's a great franchise, okay, I like their movies. They're fantastic. They're a lot of fun. They went away from the entire plot. Okay, now it's just movies. Now they destroyed the entire purpose of the thing. They bring back every person from the dead. Since they brought back what's her name from the dead, they went away from the entire plot. It's not. It's a franchise, but not up there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say that it. I kind of lost it with that one. I'll be honest. The one with Tokyo Drift kind of took me away.
I would probably go Star Wars. James Bond.
Hey, James Bond for me, that's hard to make that a franchise,
right? Because it wasn't
it's changed James Bond so often.
Right. I mean,
and it's changed them enough. It's changed it enough to where they've made like they're in and of themselves. They're individual franchises within the franchise.
Correct. That's the same thing with Marvel.
Nah, see, even Marvel has a.
Well, then I would actually put in there. I mean, The Godfather is what? 3 parts, so I wouldn't include that in.
Godfather, yeah, The Godfather is a hard one for me to make a movie franchise because Godfather 3 almost really wasn't a movie.
Yeah, I know. Pirates of the Caribbean would be up there. Jurassic Park would be up there.
For me, the best overall is Star Wars.
What
Right?
about?
I'm sorry.
What about Home Alone?
Home Alone doesn't count as a franchise for me.
No,
Not with just 3 movies.
that was 4.
To me, it's the
4.
minimum is if you just have a trilogy, then it kind of leaves something to be desired. Like for me, like I wouldn't put Back to the Future as a franchise.
Right.
Right? Now, what I would put as a franchise, something that may not be considered a franchise, but now to me it is, I would put the Karate Kid there. Now, the Karate Kid did have 4 movies.
Well, you know which one's going to become the greatest of all time? John Wick.
Oh, I forgot about Lord of the Rings.
John
Yeah,
Wick.
Lord of the Rings would have to be up there for me.
Well, Lord of the Rings would be up there. John Wick, Mission Impossible, Harry Potter,
Harry Potter would be in my top 3.
Indiana Jones.
That would be in the bottom 10. That might make my top 10. It wouldn't be.
And then
It got too unbelievable. It got to the point where it was like them just trying to make movies, and they got a new one coming out. So I'm kind of iffy on that one.
Right.
For me, right now, Star Wars is it. I think A New Hope, the original, is by far and above the best movie ever made. Right? And one of the reasons that I talk about it being the best movie ever made, and a lot of people don't get this, when what was that? The first A Phantom Menace came out, right?
Right.
When Phantom Menace came out, so many people. Oh yeah, you're gonna get an ooh from me on that one. But Twilight only had 3 movies, so 3 movies to me, I have a hard time with a franchise. Yeah, I'm not a horror guy, so I wouldn't be there.
Again, we're not including Robert. We're not including trilogies here. We're not.
Yeah, it's got to be more than a trilogy.
Yeah.
Right. What was the one we were just talking about?
I mean, you have to put in there Batman. You have to put in there.
Hold on. No. Well, see, Batman for me is hard because of the so many different Batmans. That's like for me. That's the same as
I'm talking about the cape. I'm talking about the what's it called? The original ones. They were.
Yeah. For me, I struggle with that one because that's kind of like James Bond to me. No, the reason I consider Star Wars the greatest movie ever made. When The Phantom Menace came out, maybe you remember this. I guess maybe you're old enough. You were probably a kid when The Phantom Menace came out. What was the number one criticism of The Phantom Menace? What was the number one criticism? And this was like the top.
Say
again?
Hello, guy. I was born that year.
Born that year. What was the number one criticism of The Phantom Menace? So I'm asking our viewers.
Well,
because I know I got Star Wars fans here.
You want mine?
Number one.
I would say the ending
of The Phantom Menace.
I would say the ending.
No, the ending wasn't bad to me.
Really?
Yeah. I didn't have a problem with the ending of Blues on the penalty kill. That's not good. Yeah, he's got a stick between the legs. Yeah, that's going to be a tripping. The number one criticism of The Phantom Menace was its acting. Acting was horrible.
Well, I think
acting was terrible. I mean, you go read any review, and they tore up the acting. They also tore up the age difference between Anakin and the princess. I can't think of her name, Padme. Right? They tore that up. Right? They ripped into that heavily. And I think that was agreeable. I think they made Anakin way too young in that one. But you You go and you watch the original Star Wars, and the acting in the original Star Wars was absolutely freaking atrocious. The guy that played Alec Guinness, and both a classically trained actor, and the guy that played the Admiral, I forget his name, the old guy, the played the Admiral in the
Guy,
what?
could I give it away?
Yeah.
No. I'm not saying anything. Nobody say anything in the chat.
I guess somebody just said it.
No. Nobody say. Oh, come on. No. It's not just shorthanded goal. Guy, you're gonna like this one.
Am I? Okay, let me see.
You're gonna.
I'm 3 minutes behind. I'm 3-4 minutes behind.
Okay, no problem. You're still gonna like it because it's by a guy that you probably are not expecting it, and it's a great goal. Great goal. This is highlight reel. Guys, nobody put it in the chat what's going on.
I'm watching it. I'm paying attention to it. There's 24 seconds to go in the power play.
Okay.
They just brought it over the line.
And here he comes.
Okay, that was good. That was gorgeous.
There we go. She's a beauty.
That was gorgeous. That Kaepernick needed that. I'll admit that. He needed that. That was well played. That was well played to tie it up. Tammy, I'm on a 3 to 5 minute delay, so we're not supposed to say what happens until after I say it. So, no problem, girl. No problem. The original Star Wars, the guy that I thought you were talking about, what I was talking about, not the goal. I didn't realize that was happening. That's how far behind I am. The guy that played the admiral, the commander on the Death Star, and Alex Guinness, they were both classically trained actors, and they absolutely hated Star Wars. Alec Guinness hated Star Wars so much he barely signed anything. The only stuff he signed was stuff he was made to sign. Like if you went up to him when he was still alive with Star Wars stuff, he wouldn't sign it. He hated it. He absolutely hated it. However, you never heard a word about the acting because the special effects were so good. They were so amazing in that show that it covered up everything else. You sat there. I remember watching Star Wars in 1977. And when I went to see it, that summer, it'd been out for a while. Yeah, that's Alex Guinness. That's who I was talking about, Alec Guinness. Right? Yes, we did. That's who I was talking about, Alec Guinness. He would not sign anything. Absolutely hated the movie. I remember being a kid. I remember the theater. Not there anymore, but I remember the theater I went to see this movie. Sat in the very last row. My babysitter and her boyfriend took it, and they were making out. I didn't care. I sat there in such awe of. I was like, mouth dropped, just amazed. That movie took imagination to an amazing level. And it did something that I don't think any other movie could have done. And just what it did, and not only that, what it did, not just the movie itself, but what it did for Kenner Toys, with the toys in that. I remember wanting the action figures so bad. They were only $1 back then, but it was so hard to find the Luke Skywalker with the lightsaber and the Darth Vader with the lightsaber. And, it was just so hard to find those. It was just amazing. The way you're looking, Shaggy, did we give up a late goal and now it's 3-2?
No.
Okay.
No. Byfield got hurt.
Who did?
Byfield on the Kings got hurt.
Kings. Okay.
Yeah, it looked pretty bad.
I will say this. I have seen the Blues play harder tonight than they have in a lot of games.
Well, since last game, I mean.
They played pretty hard in the last game, but since the last loss, the two overtime loss, here's where Byfield got hurt. Okay. I'm just now seeing it. I'm seeing him on the ice spitting out blood.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah, but you'll see.
Yeah, so I'm just there. Right? He needed that. Kaepernick absolutely needed that. And I think it was. I really do think it was. I think that the way they did that sell off and who they, nobody was immune. Getting rid of. Who would have thought of all the guys that got traded, the name that you would have never thought would have been part of that trade was Mikkola. Nobody.
Yeah.
Nobody thought Mikkola was going to get traded. Not one time did I ever hear Mikkola's name mentioned. But when he got traded, I think it affected everybody. They're playing well tonight. I think we're starting to see other teams do what the Blues do, play down to a lesser team. And if that happens, the Blues could sneak some wins. I said 5 wins. So far, we've gotten 1. I said the day O'Reilly got traded, we had 28 games left. And I said we wouldn't win 5 games after that. And so far, I'm looking really good. We have 2 overtime losses now. And Lance brought up points, and I didn't think about overtime losses. And we'll get overtime losses. I think we'll get more of those, but we're going to get beat in the overtimes. We're going to have a lot of issues. I'm watching this Allstate commercial. Some of these Allstate commercials are pretty.
Yeah, I just got to watch the guy almost get knocked out in the UFC. All right. That was over.
Yeah. I can't get in the UFC. I think the UFC is just, I don't know. The UFC is way too, UFC was supposed to be the answer. The UFC was supposed to be the answer to boxing being political, and I think the UFC's gotten even more political than boxing is.
I don't know. I just like the fighting. So.
Oh.
Listen.
I did. I'll tell you what. I really did like that. Here Comes the Boom.
Oh. Oh.
Oh, Buchhhh.
No, you got to watch Bennington save.
I'm about to.
Oh, yeah, you're going to see this. Oh, with a bottle of rum. Arvidsson, first tripped by Levo. He should not have done that.
Blues are going to go on a penalty kill.
You saw Bennington save?
No, not yet. Oh, yeah, I just seen it.
That's gorgeous. That's absolutely gorgeous to be able to see that coming.
Yeah.
The Blues are looking so feisty right now.
Yeah.
I don't know why. They're playing. I think there's
They're playing with relief. They're playing with relief now.
Well, I also think I'll tell you something interesting. What people don't always notice on the ice, players talk to each other.
Yeah.
Sometimes they land up playing off each other. This game has been physical. I mean, you could just watch the entire game. Lazat getting 2 penalties up for that physicality, the way he's played. Sometimes they play off things going down on the ice. I mean, guy, I don't know how much you play hockey. I play hockey. I'll dirty talk all day. I'm serious. I may not be able to play up necessarily to every single point I say. A guy I think has a terrible play or something, I'll bring it up to him. It's part of the game,
Yeah.
And sometimes that player will try to come back at me,
Yep. Oh,
It's
yeah.
just how it is.
Yeah, there can be bad blood very quick in a hockey game.
And it could also it could ruin your team. I found that one of the problems with teams like the Oilers compared to a lot of teams is I feel like the Oilers not necessarily play like a regular NHL team because they got McDavid, and McDavid, it's all about McDavid.
Yeah.
So you don't necessarily have this certain feistiness going on. I think that, and you also don't see like a McDavid like fight every 5 seconds. So the fact is you're missing a certain physicality there. Oh boy. Yeah.
Well, Danny, I don't know, man. They're going to at least give. I think they should get the extra, get the point, and get the fight for the extra one. But I could use the two. I could use the win in my fantasy league. I could absolutely use it if I get the fantasy win. If I can get the win, or better yet, get an OT win, so that would give me 2 points. I would actually, I think for more than likely, I would slip into the playoffs. Oh, nice save. 28 seconds to go in the power play, and I just seen a good save by Bennington. Ah, I just saw it. They're going to lose this one late with 3:03 to go. The Kings score, and I don't know if that was a power play goal or not.
That was a power play goal.
It was.
Power play goal. And you could not put that on anyone but the fact that Bennington bit for that piece.
Velarde, power play goal. It says unassisted at the moment. Well, I needed that win, and I said it.
No, but that was a Bennington. I don't know how Bennington bit for that. That is one of the most, and he didn't use his stick. What is with that?
Oh yeah,
he didn't use his stick.
Ben. I mean, that's actually a great goal.
It's a great goal, but I give
that on the player. I give it on the player. That was just that for Velarde. That was just a great goal. That was assisted by Falala and Doherty.
Oh, that helps me because both of those guys are on my fantasy team.
Well, Bennington's on my fantasy team, and I needed the win or, overtime win, and it doesn't look like I'm going to get it.
Looks like I'll be getting the points.
I kind of agree with that there, Jason.
I could see the Blues tying this one up.
I'd like to see it. I can't, though. I don't. I really don't. Lardy's 21st of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I put that goal. I give that goal more to Velarde than I do Bennington for biting. I think Velarde just did amazing. I mean, that goal. That's a 50-50 goal. You can put it on Bennington, but you also put it on the player for a hell of a goal.
Guy.
I guess they scored again from Shaggy's face.
Guy.
Huh?
I'm gonna get another one of your talks over here. I'm getting ready. Oh boy.
I'm guessing they probably pulled Bennington and got an empty netter.
There you go. I don't even have to tell Guy anything. He already knows it. But look what they pulled him. Watch when they pull him. Watch where the puck is.
They just threw it in. They don't have control of it.
There's no.
Oh my goodness. Oh wow. Oh wow. Again, you know what? It's this thought process. It's this archaic thinking of you have to pull it based on time on the clock, not situational. And when you get smart, when you wait for the situation to, you got to have control of that puck. You got to be on that cycle before you pull them. Right? If anything, have them come up to the circles, so that way you can go back. That to me. Yeah, it happens way too much, and it's just an archaic way of thinking, and that's right. No, it happens way too much, and
no, that was bad. You don't pull your goalie there. What are you doing?
No, you've got to have that cycle, because you know what? That's the thing. You get that puck down low on a cycle, and then you pull the goalie, and you have that 6-man coming in and open ice. That's where you score goals, and teams don't do that anymore. Right?
That is just bad. You do not ever.
Well, we're not going to do a long post game. I'm sorry. This was one the Blues should have won. I mean, they should have gotten this to overtime, and they pissed this one away. They pissed this one away. They're going to be outshot, 37-26. That's outshot by 11 shots right now. Right? I just knew by the time. Coach. That's absolutely on the coach. He's the one that's telling the assistant when to pull him. Yeah, it's going to kill me fantasy-wise. I'm so close to slipping in the playoffs. I mean, and I don't mind getting knocked out in the first round because I don't have a first-round pick. I traded it away. But I'm... Right? Well, there you go. Look at that. You were behind and you were outshot 13-8. Tell me how a team from being behind is outshot 13-8. That's right there. Why is this team not going in and firing when you're behind? Firing the puck. 13-8, defensive first system. That's why. To me, my opinion. Right? They let this game go. Bennington played an amazing game, and he's getting these losses, and they're not on him. They're absolutely not on him at all. Right? I think he's giving me this, but I'm not sure. I can't see what that is. Can't see if it's this or this.
It's a peace sign.
Yeah. Robert Thomas had a goal and 12 face-off wins. Well, you know you're bad when you're highlighting a player's face-off wins.
Yeah.
Lardy, 4 goals in the last 5 games. I don't know, man. I don't know anymore. I said how I feel about it, and I'm going to leave it at that.
I'm still gonna put this on. I'm unfortunately gonna put this on Bennington.
I can't because he was the best player in the game. You know.
No, because I know that you're not gonna agree with me on this. But I do believe that Bennington bit not on that play very easily. It's a
and he may have. So I'll put it 50-50 because you know what? That was a hell of a move.
No. I agree, but Bennington's better than that.
Right.
I hold Bennington to a better standard when a guy's in front of you, directly up at you. And what he did is the swim move. The swim move means he swings it back to the right. It's a simple crossover. You could do it in basketball. Yeah. You can do it anywhere. And then he swings it back to the left. And for a goalie to get back to that left is very hard. Yeah. But if Bennington knocks that puck off his stick and covers, it's over.
Yeah.
Right? And he's right up at you, which means that you could dive at him. Okay? And you don't have to worry about a pass because he's too close to you.
I'm with you, bud. I'm with you.
I just would put it a little bit on his head. I would also put a little bit on the defense for not being a little more physical with him. You know, he was faced up against the guy.
No, you're right. Well, I don't put Grice to the standard of Bennington. I don't think Grice is as good as Bennington. So I'm with that, Danny.
Right, exactly. Danny, if this was Grice, I don't put it on Grice because Grice is just not as good as Bennington. Okay?
Yeah, I'll give that. I'll give that.
Right? Sometimes you have to talk about the guy to what he can be. All right? No, diving, okay, but Jason, I'm not talking about diving like full force. We're talking about the point is that you're close enough where you can make a move. You're right there. You see him in front of you. I've been a goalie. I've seen it in front of you. When a guy comes right up at you, you just have to worry about, the guy going high because that's sometimes very hard to defend because you're face down low and watching the puck. Besides that, I don't mean a full dive. I mean, you got to push out that stick. Try to stick it at him. You remember, there's not really a tripping when it comes to that. So, and this is Velarde was on your right side where your stick is. Okay, you got to stick that stick right there. You got it. Watch that play again. He went right for the middle, and he just didn't even use that stick correctly.
Well, hey, Shags, thanks for showing up, man.
My pleasure, my
Appreciate it.
pleasure.
Not
Yeah.
sure if I'm doing a show on. I know I'm not doing a show tomorrow. I'm going to work. I'm not sure if I'm doing a show on Monday. Monday's an iffy one, but I will be here for Tuesday. We play Arizona, a late game again. I think it's 8:30 St. Louis time,
All
or
right.
9:30 your time. We play Arizona on Tuesday, so a couple days off. Maybe they get something figured out. I don't know, guys, but I'm going to call it a night. Good 3-hour show.
Oh, yeah. All right. Good
You know,
talk.
3 hours with almost no break. It's kind of hard to do, guys, but I'm doing it, and I love you all. Chags, thanks so much, man.
My pleasure, man. All
Well,
right.
hey, guys, this is Guy, the Hawaii Blues fan, telling you what? What am I telling the boys?
Go to bed.
Hawaii Blues fan, we're bleeding blue with you. Let's go Blues! Let's go Blues! Let's go Blues!
Hey,
Blues. Let's go Blues.
what are you?
What are you wearing?
A Canadian tuxedo. And I'm a hockey player. Let's go Blues.
And with that, I say aloha, mahalo, thank you, Shaggy, for joining me tonight. This is Guy, the Hawaii Blues fan, saying you got to know, no matter what, that I'm always bleeding blue with you. Aloha.